And umpire Dean Margetts, West Australian umpire, umpiring his very first game, and he's got the nervous task of bouncing the ball for the opening of this big game at Subiaco.
What better way to start your career than get it over straight away? Bounce down here at Subiaco. Charman against Gardner. First in there was Cousins. Gardner clearing out of the centre, so a good start by the West Coast Eagles. Pike will lead the race to the ball for Brisbane. Good clean pickup. Very good last week against the Bulldogs. Brown is target. Coming across with great courage was Embley, and he forces a boundary throw in.
Just a bit of confusion early from both sides, just trying to get their matchups right. Pike was loose in the back half for Brisbane, and Braun was loose in the back half for West Coast.
Charman and Gardner. Charman wins this one. Cousins, Brad Scott will be with him this afternoon. Good long kick towards, good mark to Gasper. In front of Leppich, quickly playing on again. Cousins, prominent early. Wilson on a long lead. Michael right with him. The defensive spoil. Once again, a boundary throw, but a good start by Ben Cousins.
Great start by Ben Cousins. Two early possessions there, and a good mark early by Travis Gasper. He was terrific when they played home here 2 weeks ago. Had a quiet week last week.
Ben Cousins already 3 possessions. Short throw in by the boundary umpire. Under pressure, McGrath grabbed up in attack and will have a ball up about 40 metres out from the Eagles' goal. Crowd close to 30,000. Blustery conditions, slightly overcast. Very much Brisbane and West Australian weather all wrapped in one. Sharman swung in the tackle. Voss to Scott. Brad Scott close to the boundary line. Casey Green back at the flight. And ball's gone over the line right in front of the interchange area. Chris Scott standing Michael Collicker, the 222s behind play.
Josh Wooden's got the run with job with Jason Akamanis.
Gardner and Charman again going at it. Here's Cousins busy early. Possession number 4 blocked down. Judd tries to bust through. Fresh air shot. Take it high. It was a high tackle surely. No, not paid by umpire Margetts. Johnson was taken high by Judd, and possibly Banfield will have a ball up on the centre wing.
Don't have a good record against the West Coast Eagles, the Lions. Their last win round 11, or their only win against the West Coast round 11 last season. Black to Voss. The best and fairest combined. Brad Scott towards Bradshaw. The kick is a good one. It's an excellent kick from Brad Scott.
Just lost contact then, Darren Glass, and had turned his back on the play. By the time he'd readjusted himself, Bradshaw had the 2 or 3 yards you need on him, and he's marked on his chest.
Well worked from the clearances there, the Lions. So Bradshaw, Brisbane's leading goal kicker this season with 13 goals, 5 from about 45 metres. It's coming back. It's come back well. It's the first goal of the afternoon to Bradshaw. So he starts proceedings, but more importantly, you mentioned before, Tim, about some of the great players in the comp. We've seen Voss and Cousins and Black. They're all starting to get their hands on it early.
Very much so, Matty, and I mean, great work out of the contest here by Michael Voss to handball the ball off there to Brad Scott, but it was just Darren Glass losing that contact. You can't lose contact down the back. I mean, you lose contact, the ball's coming in quickly, you've got to focus on 2 things, ball and opponent, and that's what he did. He got lost.
Fine start by Daniel Bradshaw. He did kick 7 goals against the Eagles in the 2000 season. It's a fine start by Brisbane. Perfect bounce, middle of the ground. No clear tap out. Umpire McKenzie will have to come back in and do it again.
Drew Banfield's got a big job today. He's playing on Michael Voss. I mean, to be honest, Drew Banfield hasn't been in great form for the club, so they've thrown him back to his original challenge, what he started with as a player in AFL footy, so he's got a big job today there.
A lot of players around this football. One down by Charman, taken by Lappin, looping hand pass to Akamanis. Notting. Gathers, kicks long. Bradshaw and Glass again, body to body, and Bradshaw got rid of him, almost took the mark. A dive on top of the ball, Collicker there for West Coast. But again, Bradshaw seemed to have the better of the one-on-one contest.
Just shifted him off the ball pretty easily then. I mean, one of the things about Darren Glass, he's a good one-on-one player like that. And just got shifted off the ball rather easily. He's lucky there that Bradshaw didn't hold that mark.
Forward pocket. Plucked out of the air. Eventually over the line, Kerr runs it over. So the Eagles defence already under attack from Brisbane. Brisbane getting the first goal just after 3 minutes to Daniel Bradshaw.
Casey Green looks like he's got the job running with Nigel Lappin, sorry.
Ball in. Charman, got to beat 3. Kerr just trying to search for the boundary. Banfield will help him out. Michael Voss just making sure that both ball and player go over the line. Robert Copeland has got the job on Chris Judd. So Chris Judd, what's his 4th game of AFL footy? Has picked up someone to run with him already. What a great start to his AFL career. Gardner over the top. Banfield replay.
Right at the moment, we've got both sides trying to assert some authority and take some initiatives off the opposition with run with rolls for players. And interestingly, Copeland has taken Judd forward a little bit, might try and expose him in the air with his height, his marking ability.
2 players there for Brisbane. Brown and Charman. Wooden for the Eagles. Jakovic comes over the top.
Umpires have been busy early. Field umpires, a lot of ball ups, a lot of boundary throw-ins already.
Well, I think that goes with what Ken said. Players just trying to find their way into the game, trying to find out who's going with who before the game opens up. Both these teams are leading the AFL in attack. West Coast have scored the most, Brisbane second, but the big difference is in defence. Brisbane's defence ranked the best, West Coast at 15. Give on the up was from Lappin, but there's a free kick back to the West Coast Eagles. It's going to Josh Wooden.
Just to hum on a bit longer in that contest there. The ball had come out, they were away Brisbane again there. They'd fed the ball out of the contest very well, but Josh Wooden was penalised on.
Josh Wooden last week was playing in front of 1,100 people at Jurien Bay, 3 hours north of Perth for Subiaco. Now he finds himself on the AFL stage in front of 31,000 fans. Ball to centre wing, Black, strong tackle on him by Embley. And eventually the ball's gone over the line, we'll have a throw-in.
Interesting contest we've got here with Simon Black playing on Daniel Kerr. 2 really good ball winners, and it'll be a great contest there.
Centre wing. Gardner and Charman. Well done by the Brisbane Lions. Ruckman over the top. Now Green ran past the ball and left it for Notting in the end. Lappin. Copeland. A little kick to open space. Will it sit for Brad Scott? It does. He hand passes down the line to Ackermanis. He'll step inside Taylor. Little chip kick. Poise from Jason Ackermanis has found McRae 35 metres out, tight angle.
Good use of the ball again there Tim, out of the contest. They're so good in close, aren't they? They just feed the ball out with quick hands, and then they've got runners running ahead of the play.
Craig McRae. Casey Green ran past the footy to try and find a man, obviously very defensive-minded. That paved the way for Notting, but here's McRae.
Back him here.
Suited by the angle being a left footer. That is a lovely kick off the boot. Second goal to Brisbane. Brisbane Lions doing all the attacking, Ken Judge.
Well, they are, and they look very good. They look right on cue today. They were excellent in close. I mean, West Coast have just not as clean in close so far in this game, and they've just fed the ball out really well. And their use of the ball, when they get clear, their foot skills are excellent.
Hope you're enjoying this uninterrupted AFL coverage right here on the Fox Footy channel. Craig McRae, his first goal for the afternoon. He's kicked 4-6 coming into this game, so a little bit off target. Brisbane have the first 2. Banfield there for the Eagles. And Black and Kerr. Ball up, umpire Dean Margette's coming in his first game, as Tim has mentioned.
Just one of the concerns early, Matty, is there seem to be a lot of West Coast players running with players here. I don't know where they're going to get their offensive run from if they've got so many players who are so accountable for their opposition.
Is it a situation where we do that first and then wait for the game to open up and then get a bit more attack?
I'd suggest so.
Here's an attacking player in Cousins. Kicks inside 50. Wilson coming out on the long lead. Gets an unkind bounce. Here's Matera around the body. He's kept it involved for Gardner, but getting back Pike. Has to kick quickly, does so. Charman wants support. Gets it in his captain, Voss. Brown to beat Jakovic. The bounce favours Michael Braun, centre wing for the Eagles. Late inclusion, Braun swings back towards Gardner. Wonderful kick, and Gardner marks right on 50. Good vision by Michael Braun.
Excellent vision by Braun then, Matty, on the rebound there. Rebound ball. Gardner, who'd worked forward to try and be an offensive option before, gets it on the turnover. He'll
kick from outside 50. He's kicked 3 goals 2 this season. It's coming back. It's not going to make it. It's right on the line. Gee, Wilson got up high. Great leap for such a big man.
Got great explosive power, Matty. I mean, that's why he's got the ability to do things like that.
First score on the board for the West Coast Eagles. And behind to Michael Gardner. Lappin has the footy. Looks to field. Decides to go across in front of his own goal, taken by Ashcroft. Patient build-up by the Brisbane Lions. Marcus Ashcroft played all 25 games last year. He's gone short. Let's go down to Lockie Reed, boundary side.
Tim Sharman off a bit of an injury, and Clark Keating on the ground for Brisbane, his first run for the year.
It'll be disappointing because he's actually been quite good early. Got his hands on the footy in several contests. Chris Johnson being told to usher the ball forward by umpire McKenzie. He does so. Kicks to the wing. Spoiled by Jakovic. Over the line and out of play, and the boundary umpires have been kept very busy.
Well, with just so many players having run with roles here at the moment, that's why he couldn't move the ball on. Everyone was covered. There was no one getting free of a man because they're players shoulder to shoulder, so consequently slow movement of the ball.
Played 11 minutes first quarter. Brisbane lead by 11 points. Tapped down by Keating. Judd tries to bust through traffic. Kicked by Williams in a tight situation. Embley, was he held by Pike? No. Good tackle, Lepich on Embley. Embley's a little scraggy kick inside 50. McGrath has time for Brisbane. Breaks away, Johnson to Lappin. And Brisbane can build from half back, and Voss, who's often the main man in the chain, has the ball on centre wing left.
Just great confidence by Voss and his teammates then from a contested possession. Wandered out to the wing straight away, knowing that Brisbane had the numbers. Brown couldn't mark. Recovery. Good tackle. Didn't really get rid of that properly. It falls to McRae from outside 50. He's looking for his second. Bradshaw maybe as well, because Bradshaw was marked right on the line. A little bit fortunate, I thought, that Jonathan Brown wasn't pinged. Bradshaw squares it up to Chris Scott, who is playing in the forward line this afternoon for the Lions.
Very unselfish play there, Matty, from Bradshaw. You know, a lot of blokes in that situation might have gone back and tried to check side or whatever, looked around, saw Chris Scott free in the corridor and chipped the ball backwards to him.
Celebrated his 150th game last week with a victory. Hasn't scored for the season, so this will be his first in the year 2002, and it's a goal. So well worked by the Brisbane Lions to get it back to Chris Scott, his first goal. And he is the player that's gone forward in the absence of Alastair Lynch this afternoon, Ken.
Yeah, well, look, he's a very experienced player, as we know. But again, it was just the use of the ball by Brisbane. I mean, Voss backed his teammates in, and that's what happens when the side's going well and you're playing well and winning plenty of the ball. You back your teammates to win it. You run into space, and when they use the ball so well, they just make inroads into the opposition sides, and that's what they did again there.
Chris Scott kicking the third goal for Brisbane. Club champion in 1998 when Brisbane finished last. Haven't things changed since then? They are a power in the AFL. Now Gardner tapped it straight down the throat to Voss as if he was on the same team. Johnson stood up in the tackle. It was a strong tackle too by Williams, not penalised. Well, Punda, classy pick up with the left. Little chip kick, well done Embley on the lead. Too far out to score. Embley swings around, kicks long inside 50. The target will be Wilson. Did he get a push? Yes. Michael claimed the mark, but umpire Marr gets right on the scene, and Wilson has a chance to kick the first goal for the West Coast Eagles. Ken Judge.
Yeah, not much subtlety in that, I didn't think. I mean, he just needed to sort of hold his ground more. He actually pushed off him rather than actually just held him there, held him back and held him out of position. He actually extended his arms, and of course, I thought it was an absolute certain free kick.
Troy Wilson, 15 goals for. He's pretty accurate. Kicked 40 last year for the West Coast Eagles, and they need this one early. And Troy Wilson obliges with a goal.
Well, they'll be happy to get that one on the board, West Coast, because it's been all Brisbane that have made the play so far. But Wilson, you know, got a deserved free kick. He led out hard for the ball. Michael was right with him, and indiscretion, it's cost him a goal. But that's what the goal that West Coast badly needed.
Yeah, just a settling goal for the Eagles. Wilson returns of 6-5-4 and zip last week against Melbourne. That's the start he was looking for. Should be a fascinating duel between him and Mal Michael. Margin back to 11 points. Gardner. Bounce favours him. got it to Matera. In turn, quick hands, Banfield, Cousins. This is better from the Eagles. Wooden, 1-2 to Cousins. Low, cutting it off, Michael Voss. He would have found his mark. That was Gasper. Now Brisbane look to turn it over. McRae through the middle. Chris Scott has Bradshaw in lead, and that's good footy.
That's what does kill you at Brisbane. You turn the ball over like that, and Ben Cousins did really well. 2 possessions, ran hard, but just an errant kick straight to the opposition, and that's where they hurt you the most. Their skill level when they win possession of the ball on turnover is fantastic.
Bradshaw has one. He passed off for Chris Scott for him to get one, and that's not a kick he'd be too happy with. That was straight off the inside of the instep.
Didn't kick through the ball, Matty. Actually pulled it. He looked like he just, was like short in his gait almost. He didn't extend his leg and consequently pulled it across his body.
So it's Brisbane by 2 goals. Richard Taylor has the kick-in duties. It decides to come straight up the middle to Gardner. Work his way to the front. There's Cousins again. Hand pass to Banfield, trying to find some form and the football. Hand pass, missed its man, which was Braun, but there was Gasper who got it to Green. A wonky kick by Green. Coming out hard, Wilson, clean bowled. Who cleaned up his own man, Judd to Detroit Wilson, and Michael has time to settle things down for Brisbane. McRae's been busy early. This is his 4th kick. Notting's found space on centre wing. Brisbane. Notting is a very good tackle by Green. But Notting has time to then load it back up to McRae, who chips down the line to Lappin. So Brisbane have 3 men. Craig McRae's been busy all over the ground. Lappin inside 50. Keating and Jakovic punched away by the Eagles champ. Banfield stood up in the tackle to Braun. Braun left foot kick to centre wing. What Punda should mark and does.
Game just starting to come alive now as Wirapunda goes around the corner. He's got a man free. It's Taylor. Leppich comes at him. Taylor does well. Oh, but the handball missed the body. Copeland came in from the Lions. Still not out of danger yet. Michael caught. Judd flattens Copeland. Gasper wants a free kick. There's a free kick to Brisbane.
Yeah, just young Travis Gasper was in the back, jumped over the top of him in desperation to try and hold the ball in. He just fell into Michael's back.
Lockie Reed down the boundary.
Armin with his ankle straps should be able to come back on, and Jones for the Eagles about to come on.
We see Gasper getting to Michael's back there. Back with the action now. Lappin caught. Eagles tackling very good in this first quarter. Gardner went everywhere. Ball comes to ground. Little give on the up was good. Comes to Kerr around the body. Ashcroft getting back for the Lions, taking the mark. 12 points the margin here at Subiaco, coming up to the 18-minute mark of this first quarter. McRae. Good pre-season from McRae, as fit as he's ever been. Wooden has kept Ackermanis out of the game. Not this time. He gets a free kick for too high. Wants to play it on quickly. It's a poor kick from Ackermanis because he's missed McRae with some courage. Ball spills to Black, inside 50. He'd expect him to kick this. He's hooked it. So good pressure from the West Coast Eagles for Simon Black for the one behind. The margin now 13 points.
Well, you can't deny West Coast's defensive qualities here. I mean, they're certainly working hard to try and make life difficult for the Brisbane players when they're in possession, but they're just a touch clean in Brisbane at the moment.
2 leading possession getters there, going shoulder to shoulder. Ben Cousins, Craig McRae. Ben Cousins very busy early. He's had 7 possessions. McRae has had 8 himself. Long kick outside the defensive 50. Big fly from Notting. Here is Cousins again. He's met in a Brisbane sandwich. Brisbane want to tie it up. The Eagles under enormous pressure again, this defence. Going to ground was Ashcroft. Peter Matera stayed on his feet. Kicks down the line. I think he's gone too wide. He has. He's missed everything. Out of bounds on the full.
Well, an unusual kicking error from Peter Matera. He is one of the class players with his use of the ball, and just obviously pressure.
Brisbane by 13 points. Just shy of time on. First quarter at Subi. Long kick, Leppich, Ackermanis. The ball, in fact, fell short in front of Wooden, and Ackermanis had the front spot. Basics of footy. Kicks inside 50. Bradshaw goes at it one-handed, opposed to Glass. Glass under pressure. He wants the safety of the boundary line. He finds it. And the ball's gone over the level of throw in.
Better work there from Darren Glass, body on body. That's what he's good. He's good at that body on body stuff. He got beaten the first couple of times. He's learnt from it. Much better that time in the one-on-one contest.
Keating and Gardner. Kerr came to Keating, swung around the corner, and once again, great desperate defence from Glass. Rush behind. Well, Charman with his ankle strapped. I know Brisbane didn't really want to have Keating out there for the whole game. He's come back from an injury, hasn't had a lot of game time. He's had a couple of reduced games in the AFL Queensland competition, so some pressure on him. Djakovic has started well. Brown hasn't been in the game, and some good sprawling so far from Djakovic, and he takes the mark.
Actually, Keating might have been looking for a breather then too, Matty. He should have contested that contest. He let Djakovic mark in an uncontested situation.
Taking his time, just waiting for an option. There's Gardner. That's a poor kick, but they do have the numbers. It's 2-on-1. Wooden gets the shepherd from Banfield to give him some space. He can go back to Djakovic, and he does. The veteran, Long, looking for Colica. Brown had to go back. Spoils. Ball comes to Colica, though. He runs to 50. He wants the play on the lead in Wilson. It goes over the back to Wembley. He strolls into the goal square and kicks the goal. Great work from the defence of the West Coast Eagles. Djakovic running hard, Colica running hard, Ken Judge.
Well, Michael Colica ran very hard down to put himself in offensive position there. He actually miscued that. I'm certain he was kicking that ball to Troy Wilson. Then it went over his head, but luck's of fortune. Andrew Embley running into open space, gets on the end of it and kicks a goal.
Craig McRae being very, very busy. 7 disposals in the last 10 minutes, 8 for the game, and Andrew Embley's just kicked his 5th goal for the season for the West Coast Eagles. And the margin is back to 8 points, 21 plays 13. Gardner, Charman back on the ground. Cousins has been very busy for West Coast, kicks the ball to the lead of Gaspar up and takes the mark. The lead from Wilson into the pocket. The kick has to be spotted, and it is! Wilson on the lead in front of Michael. He takes it in front of his eyes, 40 metres out, slight angle, and West Coast looking very good in the middle. Ben Cousins in particular, again, dominant in this first term, Ken Judge.
Oh, Ben Cousins has been outstanding in the first quarter here, and much better use of the ball. The other thing is when they've gone forward a couple of times, Justin Leppich has just struggled to keep up with Travis Gaspar. He's led up to the ball well, and he's had 5 to 10 metres twice the ball's gone forward now. Good mark from the young kid, and a good pass to Wilson.
Aiming for his 2nd goal for the day. A goal here, and the margin will be back to 2 points from 45 metres out. A little shimmy to the left by the goal umpire, but it is a goal to Wilson, and West Coast are within 2 points of Brisbane.
Well, it's a good little resurgence here by West Coast. Brisbane looked much tidier with their ball use. West Coast have had excellent perseverance, which they've shown for the whole of the first quarter. And if you persevere hard enough and long enough, things come your way. And they've turned things around in the last couple of minutes to score a couple of goals.
Well, they've kicked the last 2. The crowd certainly becoming a factor now here at Subiaco. Cox coming on for his first run of the afternoon. Williams coming off. So some height advantage for Cox. Wilson has 2.
Just looking to try and stretch Brisbane a bit there in the back line by bringing on a tall.
Charman against Gardner. Gardner's been excellent. Wins it again. At ground level, it's Brad Scott. Off the side towards McRae. Chris Scott couldn't get free. Cousins can't as well. Good give from Voss. Matera read it. He tackles Brad Scott. And away go the Eagles through Banfield. Out towards where Punder on the lead. Up against the boundary line. Excellent kick to Gaspar. Once again out in front of Leppich. West Coast surging. Here's Matera with some space. He can play on. Wilson again the target. Low and hard. Wilson! No.
Out of bounds.
Out of bounds just before. Well, a bit of bad luck for the West Coast Eagles. Before the disposal was taking place, it wandered out of bounds. So a let-off there for Brisbane. Could have been Wilson's 3rd goal.
Throw in, Cox and Charman from behind Cox. With the line and out of play. Crowd not happy.
West Coast have just settled a bit, Tim, in the last 3 or 4 minutes, and they're using the ball much better then.
There's Peter Matera, took the mark, and the boundary umpire is spot on. Oh, I think it was out. Definitely looked well over the line. Boundary umpire Jamie Giles was right there. Little shovel hand pass to Wapunda. Wapunda to Wilson, has to stand, goes out at one hand. Well done, Michael. Ball spills. Cousins under pressure, goes to ground. Brisbane, knocked away from McGrath. Rebounds to Lepich. Gee, they're working hard, two defences. This is a good game of footy. Lepich kicks outside defensive 50. Chambers just on the ground, works the boundary line. Hand passes away from Ashcroft, but the experience of Ashcroft does well to Scott. Short. It came from Brad to brother Chris, who's taken the mark just backward of right centre wing.
Was that 15 metres, Tim?
No, 14 and a half. Crowd still not happy. Crowd in excess of 32,500. Saturday football at Subi. Been a success, you would say, as McGrath has taken the ball. And this boy would have been more likely to play for South Fremantle in the WAFL. That's actually McGrath, but instead of playing AFL on a Saturday in Western Australia. Brown to Lepich, a couple of bounces and an inside 50. It pitches in front of Bradshaw, hand pass to Ackermanis, left foot kick. Now the Eagles have numbers back here. Cox should mark the ball, he does. Got some assistance from Banfield. And they break for him. Peter Matera should mark on his defensive 50.
Here's a running player in Michael Braun again. West Coast working through the outer side with Gasper in space. He's got a player on the top, and that's Gardner. Lepich arriving late to hold him up. Gardner wants to get it on quickly. Brisbane now getting some numbers back. Gardner goes long. Poor kick. All Brisbane. Charman gets back. If it wasn't Charman, it was going to be Michael. Troy Wilson will not be happy with that kick coming in the way it did then from Gardner. Marcus Ashcroft won't be happy with that kick from Charman. Put him under some pressure. Luke Power now on the ground for Brisbane. Finds his target in Notting.
He's not a good kick, Gardner, at the best of times, and when he's rushed, he's a lot worse.
That's right.
Notting stays low. Suits West Coast. Suits Djakovic right on top of Brown at the moment.
Well, they're just getting the ruckman back in front of Brown as well there, Matty, and it's making life pretty difficult for the kid. He sort of had to look up then as if to say, what are you trying to do to me? Kill me.
Djakovic goes short to Josh Wooden. In turn, short to Braun.
It's the bare 15 too, mate.
I think that one may have just snuck over the line. That's a good kick. A wonderful kick to Jones. Started on the bench. Wilson comes now. Had some space. Laterally to Braun.
There's not much space in there, Matty. There's a lot of players back inside 50.
Well, every player in one half of the ground at the moment. Every single player. Here's Notting. Excellent kick to Power. Ackermanis now runs. Now that's a kick in hope. Ackermanis has got to beat Wooden. Djakovic there, and he'll see it over the boundary line. In the last minute of the first quarter, spirited contest, just the 2 points, Brisbane lead.
Yeah, and we've settled down to a good contest now, Matty, but the thing you see when Brisbane win possession of the ball, that kind of space in front of them, they just use the ball so well.
Eagles have kicked the last 3 goals of the game through Wilson with a couple and Embley with a single. Brisbane are in their attacking zone. Cox on the ground. Power to Notting. He'll step to the right. Through traffic. Kick just slews off the side of the boot. It did all the hard work, Tim Notting. Minor score. Brisbane out to a 3-point lead.
Well, he did do the hard work there, Tim, but he actually pushed himself back in to put himself under pressure because he went wide.
Always goes right, though.
Yeah, always goes to his right side, but actually ran himself into trouble under pressure then.
So the Brisbane Lions, 3-4-22. West Coast, 3-1-19. Dying seconds first quarter. Wooden will go to Cox. He's been good since coming on the ground.
He has, and look, he was a bit disappointing in the first couple of weeks. Got dropped back to the waffle and has come back this week and he started very well in this game.
The Eagles have the footy, but they might run out of time as quarter time approaches. Djakovic has it. Half back right. Cousins, 8 disposals. McRae off the ground for Brisbane, 8. 7 for Michael Voss. Brisbane have had more of the footy, but only lead by 3 points. Close to quarter time. Off hands, close to the line. Miranda eventually sees it over the line. And that boundary umpire, Jamie Giles, who upset many West Coast Eagles fans earlier when he called Peter Matera out. There he is. Fans haven't been happy with the boundary umpire. Charman to Peter Matera. There he is, kick inside 50. Can the Eagles get a score? Closing on quarter time. Oh, bad bounce for Wilson. He's had a couple of wrong ones in this quarter. Under pressure. Ball spills out wide. Williams, right foot snap to goal. He's kicked it on the siren. Dream finish to the first quarter for West Coast. Andrew Williams has kicked the fourth and the crowd's happy.
Well, the timing couldn't have been better for the West Coast Eagles. A second remaining. Williams gets the goal. Scott under pressure. Forces it wide. Very clever kick from Williams around the body. They've kicked the last four, the West Coast Eagles. They've got the lead for the first time in this match. They've got over 33,000 people excited and loud here at Subiaco. 4-1 West Coast 25. The Lions 3-4 22. Wilson has 2. Embley and Williams 1 for Brisbane. Bradshaw, Lepich and McRae.
Michael Gardner has been, well, I think he appreciated Charman going off the ground. I think Charman was certainly getting hands on the footy early, but Michael Gardner, as you mentioned, has seen plenty of the footy. 5 disposals for the game so far and 3 marks. And the Eagles take a 3-point lead into the second quarter.
Leading disposal getter is Ben Cousins on the ground. As we talked about Gardner, he gets the proceedings underway in this second quarter. Johnson went without it. Here's Cousins. Working very hard for his team. Hooks it back to the danger zone. Good mark. Williams got a player loose in Gasper. Gasper's inside 50. He runs the 40 metres. He hooks the kick, but he's still got 2 players to pick from, and one of them is David Wirapunda. He goes back, sees a player short. It was Embley, but Lappin came in. Lappin wants Voss. Bit of tunnel ball work, and they've worked it out, and they've got out of jail a little bit there, Brisbane, because now Lappin finds the boundary, and they can resettle. Unselfish play from Wirapunda, but it didn't come off, Ken.
Well, no, it didn't, and it's a bit unfortunate. Probably they got away with it because I think Gassy had a shot at goal. Travis Gasper miscued it, marked it, and you think, well, they're going to still capitalise on the opportunity and then the turnover, of course. Charman
and Gardner once again. Wirapunda. Williams, lively. Wilson. Punch came from Michael. Off the ground went Miranda. And we've seen him do that many times. He is very clever at the base of the pack around goal.
Goal of the year last year against St Kilda at Colonial Stadium. Andrew Embley was thought he had more time than he did when that kick came back from Wirapunda, and the coach's box weren't happy with him. Kick out, Lappin. And without the footy, Banford's been better today. A hand pass back to Green, to Kerr, wants to step inside. Hand pass back to Gardner, who'll try and load up. Then hand pass back to Kerr from 70 metres out. Kicks long to the goal square. Michael back for Brisbane. Lucky he was there. The Lions, Michael to Pike. Good kick by Pike, and Simon Black takes a mark at half back for the Lions.
Excellent skill under real pressure there from Martin Pike.
He'll come short across the ground to Ashcroft. So they've traversed Subiaco Oval and ended up with Chris Scott. A mismatch in height here. Lepich takes the mark away from Cousins. Cousins goes to ground. Lepich has a bounce, kicks into the pocket. Bradshaw again gets away from Glass and takes the mark. Right on his distance. He's been asked to come right around. He'll kick from just inside 50, Daniel Bradshaw.
Went a bit wide then, Brisbane going forward. I thought there's a couple of other options that were on in the corridor they could have used. It may have made the shot at goal easier, but they went wide to Bradshaw. Obviously, he's a focal point for them today.
He's always out left. The first goal of the game, Daniel Bradshaw. Brisbane get it behind, so the margin back to 3 points. West Coast 4-2-26, Lions 3-5-23.
Well, Tim, as I said, there's probably a couple of other options that could have been used there, and a very difficult place to kick goals from out there wide at Subiaco Oval there. And Daniel Bradshaw, of course, missed the opportunity, and one that they, as I said, there was probably better options down on that could have been used.
Right behind Josh Wooden there. Long kick, great Mark Jakovic.
Had the better of the battle with Brown so far, Matthew.
Been outstanding so far. Lepich and Gasper. Gasper on top there as well. Lappin caught. Kerr. Did he have possession? He did that time. Banfield through some traffic, does well. Handball searching forward. Pike there for Brisbane. He can't take clean possession. Not the first time, he can the second time. He's in rare form, Martin Pike. To Brad Bradshaw on a long lead. Hard one to take down there. At the crumbing base was Braun. Again now to Jakovic. Glenn Jakovic to the outer side. Gasper against Lepic. Going back, Charman spoiled his teammate in Lepic. On the recovery though, Brown, Charman. Now they work it out, Brisbane. Ashcroft decides to straighten up. Low kick, poor one. Terrible kick from Ashcroft. Once again, it's Big Jakovic.
Jakovic, when he runs and bounces, you know he's in form. He got a good shepherd too. Jakovic spots up Embley, but Lepic is starting to come into the game as well for the Lions. Teams up with Scott. That's a poor kick by Chris Scott, and the mark's been taken by Chambers. I've liked his footy this year. He's come onto the ground and given some legs.
Well, he's certainly a good endurance athlete, Tim, and they use him, late in quarters and late in games to use that running ability.
Kick down the line. Williams was met in the sandwich. Ball comes loose. Wilson, Big Troy. What's he going to do here? Left foot. He doesn't kick many with the left foot. It's going to be tight. It was always narrow through for a line of score. Big Troy. Everything opens up when he has the footy inside 50.
That's not the only thing that opens up, mate. There's crowd open up every time he goes to the ball. There's a bit of an aura about him, isn't he? He's really sort of, the West Coast fans have really embraced him as a player and love him when he gets near the ball.
Very cult hero. The cult hero, I suppose, probably since Carl Langdon days, to be honest. Copeland's taken the mark outside his defensive 50. So the Eagles lead by 4 points. We're 5 minutes into the second quarter. Good game of footy. And that's what Copeland has ahead of him. He kicks towards centre wing. Collicker up, almost took the mark. Now Brisbane have numbers who stayed on their feet. A little give, it found Voss. Left foot inside 50. Braun has to show some courage. He put his body on the line. Umpire's played advantage. It was against the Eagles. Screwed around the corner by Bradshaw. It's rolling. Which way will it bounce? Top line. Wooden got back for West Coast. It was a race between Wooden and Power, but Wooden had the power to beat him, force it through from behind.
And Craig McRae slow to get up there. That was what the free kick was paid for. Braun against McRae, who had 8 possessions in the first quarter, just flattened him in the air. But a great defensive effort by Wooden right on the line from Bradshaw's kick. Margin back to 3 points. Jakovic over the top. Matera trying to get through the pack. Does so successfully. Little kick out towards Cousins. Arriving late, Johnson. Cousins takes the mark. Eagles surging once again. The skipper to Embley. Wilson on a long lead. Has some space in front of him. Michael with him. Wilson read it better. Probably should have taken the mark. Still a chance for the Eagles now at ground level. Williams. Clever goal just on quarter time. Not to be this time.
Well, West Coast have certainly worked their way into this game, Matty. They're certainly taking it right up to the Brisbane Lions at the moment. Just at times, Brisbane look a bit arrogant with the way they play. They're just trying to back themselves a little bit, go around players, not doing the things that, the first thing that comes into their mind.
Well, there's been some poor kicking from Brisbane, and that one from Pike, no exception. Chris Scott just doing enough to get the ball over before a free kick was given.
And again, a bit of a reflection of that, I think. Just a few players you don't expect to miss kick have missed kick, missed their targets badly. Just to me, Brisbane may have just sort of got that start, thought things are going to fall into place here, and West Coast have come back at them strongly.
Black, Lappin, gone, Voss, somehow gets a handball free, Copeland. Great smother from Chambers, McRae, perhaps a throw, but he got it to Black. Black and Voss both ran on there, great running. Voss searching for Ackermanis, out in front of him. It's got to beat Wooden, he can't, nodding, needs support. Doesn't get it. Looks up as he sees the Eagles. Collicker there for all the Eagles. Does well. Went over the ball. Gets the free kick for too high.
This is a real good game of footy for mine. Both teams having a genuine go in pretty trying conditions. Crowds involved, and the champs are coming to the fore. Voss for the Lions and Cousins for the Eagles. Kick to Gardner. That kick's not good. Tallest man on the ground was under pressure and got a free kick. It's going to go to Green for a push in the back. It's the first time for a long time I felt that there's been a constant roar with the West Coast Eagles fans at a game, Ken. It's been a long time. Well,
they're certainly involved in the game, and I think they'd be pretty happy with the way the West Coast are going about things at the moment. They've really taken it up to Brisbane. As I said, early in the first quarter, they looked like they were on the ropes a bit. They fought back well here and got their nose in front.
Green got the free kick and got it to Jakovic. Probing kick inside 50. Wilson will fly. Knocks it down. Rode by Kerr. Left foot kick from 30 metres. It's a scraggy old kick, but will it bounce back? Pike's back for Brisbane. He bounces it across like he's Andrew Gaze. Dribbling across the line. And the Eagles, well, in fact, both teams very errant with their kicking. Here's the Kerr kick, almost just didn't quite steady there, and he's not happy with himself, Daniel Kerr. The Eagles' margin's back out to 5 points. In this quarter, they've kicked 4 points, and Brisbane have kicked 2.
Charman the target in front of Gardner, takes the mark. Kerr would have been disappointed with that. He'd back himself 9 times out of 10 to finish there.
If he has one area of his game, at times he can let himself down. He's with his kicking. I mean, he's a terrific ball winner. He's just got to use it sometimes better.
Brown. Jakovic came over the top. Mark paid.
No goals in 9 minutes of footy. Good pressure game.
Good game of footy here at Subiaco. Nodding. Didn't take the mark. Slapped it towards Voss, who slapped it back to Nodding. Great play. Nodding from 60 runs on. Bradshaw in the goal square. Glass uses his body well. And we have another behind number 7, Tim. Good body-on-body work from Glass. The skipper barking instructions at Brisbane. They set up their zone.
He's certainly been better, Matty. Glass, since that early part of the game where it went down the first couple of times, he got shifted off the ball. He's done really well the last few times he's been at Bradshaw, and he is a good player one-on-one.
3-7 to 4-5. 4 points the Eagles. Josh Wooden being told to kick. And 2-on-1, so they worked it well, the Eagles. And they got it to Gardner, who outsmarts Charman and plays on quickly. Short kick into the middle. Embley. Kerr running through the centre circle. Wilson again on a long lead. Chris Scott goes back into the danger zone. Roving it well was Miranda. On the left goes Miranda. And out of bounds on the full goes Miranda.
Under pressure, West Coast. A lot of their shots on goal have been under pressure with the left foot.
Yeah, but they're doing all the attacking, Tim, which is good for West Coast. They're normally Mark Miranda's bread and butter, but didn't quite get onto that one that time.
Chris Scott, wonderful courage to stand in front of the rampaging Troy Wilson just moments ago. The kick to centre wing, Braun. Had a troubled week leading up to this game with a few niggling injuries, an ankle. He stubbed his toe at training on Monday, and it seemed to flare up on Wednesday. He's in the lineup and going okay. Gasper flies. Brisbane have numbers over the top as Lepage. Ball's gone over the line and out of play.
Lepage just worked his way into the game a bit more this quarter. I thought young Travis Gasper gave him the run around early, but he seems to have got back and on top of him there.
Brisbane have only won once and 6 times at this ground. Volleyball stuff knocked down by Kerr. Pushed forward by Scott to his brother. Came from Chris to Brad. The Lions can set something up from half-back. Jonathan Brown diving catch. A very good mark.
Wanted to hand that off then.
A rare moment to get in front of Jakovic. Brisbane trail by 4 points. No goals in the quarter. We've already almost gone 12 minutes. Out hard was Bradshaw. Spoiled. Peter Matera's been good. Looks around. Wants the safety of the boundary line. Floats it there and successful over the line and out of play.
It's 220 or 230 games experience there. Peter Matera, rather than turn the ball over, kick it wide, get a restart again, get a chance to get your numbers back to where the contest is.
Game number 241 for the champ. Gardner, good knock. Ackermanis went quiet. Handball was a searching one forward, looking for runners. Power. It somehow almost got to Chris Johnson. Nodding. Caught. Good tackle by Colliker. Here's Chris Judd to Wooden. West Coast have got some space to run into now. No pressure from Brisbane whatsoever. On the long lead, Wilson. Michael just did enough, but Wilson's recovered. He turns around. He sees an open goal square. He loads up from outside 50. And again, kicks it out on the full. So he should have done better with that. He had some time.
We saw that same thing last week. He tried to play on around the player on the mark. When he gets on the angles like that, he really makes good contact. He's actually kicking across the ball. He's trying to kick it 50 metres and hitting the ball side on rather than flush on.
We've seen 7 behinds in this quarter and 3 out on the full. Keating, he's got to beat 3. Matera to the goal square. 1-on-1, going back Pike. Has the better of the duel with Williams and rushes through. Down to the boundary with Lockie Reid.
The changes are swinging now. Embley off, Judd on, Sharman for the Lions off, and Keating is back on, and Cox, the big fella, is about to come on for the Eagles.
Martin Pike being very good. As Dean Cox waits for his moment to come onto the ground. There is Chris Scott. So in this term, the West Coast have added 5 behinds, Brisbane 3 points, and as Matty Campbell mentioned just moments ago, 3 out of bounds on the full to boot. It is all to do with a lot of pressure out there. The Eagles are standing firm. They lead by 5 points. Kicked by Lappin. Brisbane have numbers at the base. Sean Hart. Crowd one holding the ball. Umpire Margett says no doing as Andrew Williams comes off the ground.
Jonathan Brown's limped away from that contest there. I think he might have hurt his knee or his shin.
So Andrew Williams off the ground. He's the last player to kick a goal in this game. 1 second before the quarter-time siren. In tight, Ackermanis, stolen by Wapunda. Hand pass to Gardner. Eagles are away, set something up. The lead is Wilson. Good mark in front of Michael. In front of his eyes, and Wilson kicks. Who is he looking for? Miranda. Kick to the top of the square. I think he was looking at Jordan Miranda. And Miranda eventually called him out. Miranda should slot through the first goal for the quarter. And we're just a few seconds shy of 15 minutes.
Oh, very unselfish play there from Troy Wilson. I mean, that just shows that he's actually coming to grips more and more on a weekly basis about AFL football. I mean, normally he would go back and try and kick that on goal there, but really unselfish play, good use of the ball, and the Eagles need this goal.
Miranda kicks the first goal for himself for the year, and the Eagles 5th.
The Eagles need that goal because they are, I mean, they've had all the play, and often when you have all of the play and you don't get the scoreboard pressure on, the balance of the game changes, the opposition go down and score a goal, and all of your hard work's undone. So they need to get a reward for that, and they did.
For a comprehensive wrap of the round, the winners on Sunday nights at 7:30 on Fox Footy Channel. That goal and many more. $11 points the margin at Subiaco. The West Coast Eagles have kicked the last 5 goals. Keating against Cox. Keating wins it easily. Brown's not fit. Djakovic wins that contest. Pike going back for Brisbane. Gets the free kick. Out to Brad Scott. Hart running. Started on the bench. Being told to run by his teammate in Notting. Now kicks towards Voss, who's gone forward. Spoil comes to ground level. Black, first there. Clever handball to Lappin. In turn to Voss. Voss has got to get some distance on the kick because Keating has dropped back. Also going back, Cox. Good spoil. Ground level, Ackermanis. Caught. McRae, likewise. Keating, long way to go down there. Play on, good call by the umpire. Judd does well. Spins out of trouble. Chambers, a little bit of time, decides that safety is the best policy. Another behind for Brisbane.
Ackermanis might consider himself a little bit unlucky just moments ago. He was taken high in attack. He was going to ground, but the wooden arm was certainly over the shoulder.
Clark Keating looks a bit underdone to me. I mean, he looks like a player who's really short of a gallop at the moment.
Daniel Kerr coming off for a well-earned rest. He's had 7 disposals. Rowan Jones back on the ground as Braun kicks to centre wing. And there's Brown, who doesn't look to be moving all that well. He's taken a mark on this occasion. Jonathan Brown. Long. Bradshaw and Braun. There was a mismatch there. What happened there in defence for the West Coast Eagles? And Bradshaw's taken a very good mark. He's about 8 inches taller than his opponent on that occasion.
I'm not sure what happened there. Darren Glass was a long way away from Bradshaw then when that ball came back in, and of course, you know, Braun's caught out on a player much taller, and we've never stood a chance.
So Bradshaw splits the middle, and a much needed one for the Lions. Jonathan Brown comes off, so maybe that injury is a little worse than we'd gathered. He's going straight down. Looks like he's going to get some treatment on that. Looks like an ankle or a knee. Well,
he did come into the game with an ankle problem, but it was a big contest in the marking contest, so it could be anything. I mean, from that collision, could be a corky, could be a knock to the knee.
That's a blow to Brisbane, because right at the moment, with the exception of Bradshaw, they're struggling for tall marking players in their forward line that are having an impact. Brown had actually won a few possessions, but there's a heavy reliance on Bradshaw now.
Problems for Brisbane with Brown off. Alistair Lynch didn't make the trip across, so a lot of responsibility falls to Bradshaw, who's just kicked his second goal to get Brisbane back to within 4 points. And there's a centre square infringement, and it's going to West Coast Eagles. It'll go to Cox. He'll want to play on quickly, and he does. Djakovic has been brilliant and is freed up to kick long. Leppich has got to go. He did. Wilson came. Ball hits the deck. Play on. Now it suits Brisbane. Copeland caught. Under pressure, Brisbane. Ashcroft got it to Chris Scott. Leppich in trouble in back play. Keating Well done. Lepic still in trouble. Ackermanis. Voss got to beat Banfield, right with it. Banfield does well to get it to Braun. He's gone. Just did enough to get it in front of Cox. Right up against the boundary. Back to Braun. Quick kick. Should suit Brisbane, it does. Keating just bangs it forward, hoping for a mark. Free kick. Going to Voss. Lockie Reed down on the boundary.
Magic spray is going on to Brownie's ankle, and he's just had the strapping taken off, and the spray hopefully will work and get him back out on the ground.
Lepic in the hands of the trainers as Voss kicks to the goal square. Luke Power found himself in the marking contest and gets the mark. Doesn't take many overhead marks. Lepic doesn't want to come off by the looks of it. But back,
I think he might have a caught, Lepic.
well, he did have to go back in front of Wilson, didn't he?
He showed great courage, don't worry about that.
Luke Power, renowned goal kicker for Brisbane, to put the Lions back in front. And he has. So Power gets his first for the afternoon. Brisbane have 2 in a row. And Justin Lepic, here's the courage to go back in front of a rampaging Wilson. And he collected him, but where?
I think he's collecting him in the thigh. I think it's a bit corky, and that's why I don't think he wants to come off. He's thinking he can probably get himself active. He might be able to stay out there.
Well, he's drifted back.
This goal was a result of a hurried kick from Michael Braun down here in front of us.
Great courage, Justin Lepic. He stays on the ground. For Wilson, 100 kilos bearing down on you. There's no place to hide at Subiaco Oval. As Brown goes to the rooms to receive treatment, obviously an ankle injury. As Lappin slaps it forward. Nodding, look away, hand pass was tricky to Bolton. Inside 50. Here's the Bradshaw-Glass combination again. Going to ground was Glass. Voss wants to get the ball, but he can't. The boundary line wins the battle, and we'll have a throw in as Brown obviously going down to get it restrapped, one would say.
Well, you'd think so. I mean, at this early stage of the year, you wouldn't be entertaining any jabs or things like that. I think you'd probably find he'd be going to get him strapped up and see if they can get him mobile that way.
So Brisbane have arrested the lead away. They lead by 2 points. The Lions. Colliker. Off one step, Michael Voss. And it's hit the top of the post. Right at the very top. Off one step, Michael Voss. And again, the errant kicking continues. It's his 15th disposal for the game, and Brisbane now lead by 3 points. 5-9-39, West Coast to 5-6-36. Good game of footy, crowd in excess of 33,000. Kick out by Wire Punda. Cousins been a little bit more quiet in this second quarter. Hand pass to Chambers. Jakovic has runners outside. Cox. Good tackle on him by Scott and Brad Scott. Chambers wants to get back inside. The Eagles have numbers around the footy, and Jakovic is the recipient of the hand pass, and Gardner has taken the mark between right centre wing and right half forward.
He's got players in the middle, but he decides to go long. He looks for Wilson on the lead. Up goes Wilson and takes it. Well, he had to beat 2 or 3 there. He came late, and a wonderful mark by Troy Wilson. We know he's a thumping kick, and he'll kick from just outside 50. That won't be a problem. Brisbane make the change with their ruckman. But Brisbane have kicked the last 2. They lead by 3 points. Wilson will aim for his 3rd.
He is a better kick from 50 metres than he is from 30.
Yeah.
He actually kicks right through the ball.
He's been a consistent kick all year. He's a chance here, and look, at the distance won't worry him. The thing they needed a goal here, West Coast, because they've probably outplayed Brisbane in this quarter, yet they're behind.
2 goals, 1 for the afternoon. We're right behind Troy Wilson from 52 metres. Never in doubt. He's got 3, and he's got the Eagles back in front.
They've certainly been, Matty, they've certainly been the better of the 2 sides in this quarter for the majority of it. And so, therefore, that goal there was really important. An excellent kick by Troy Wilson. He's actually now appears to have set into a routine with his kicking, and he's become a very consistent kick.
$18 goals, 5. Troy Wilson's output this year. 3 goals for this game. And he is standing firm On a path of destruction too, mind you. He's certainly cleaned up a couple of Lions players today. Back in the middle, the Eagles have taken that lead again. It's a lucky hand pass from Peter Matera to Green. Banfield over the ball. Looks through traffic. Cousins spins, tackles. Brisbane have numbers now. Hart should gather and does. To Power, to Ashcroft. Oh, Pike sold it before he had it. And Peter Matera comes in. So inspirational play by the veteran. Not a lot of hair between the two, Pike and Matera, but a lot of experience.
Yeah, well, Martin Pike today is probably, we gave him a rap before the game, Matty, and he's probably just had a bit of a dirty day so far. Missed a couple of targets with his kicks, and then one goes straight through his hands like that.
Gardner has Voss. Very hard to put him on the deck. Stood up in the tackle. Judd, hand pass. Found the man in Gardner. Lopes through 50. It's an ordinary looking kick. And over in, Michael should be back for Brisbane. Passed a fitness test this morning for the Lions. Did Mel Michael. A tight hamstring. Back-related hamstring, I'm told. Eventually the ball's gone over the line and out of play in front of Bolton. So we've gone up to 25 minutes. A couple of lead changes. The Eagles hold sway by 3 points. It's a camera from the other side of the ground, the Kings Park side. Hand pass, Banfield under pressure, Lepic, oh, he's missed everything. Now Brisbane are under pressure. Michael tapped it back to Gardner. Wilson on the end of it, he's missed from 10 metres out, even less. He's going to get a free kick, Wilson. He's going to get a free kick for a push. And Robert Copeland cannot believe it. He missed from, I overstated it, he missed from 3 metres out, Troy Wilson. And Robert Copeland, Greenmouth guard and all, cannot believe it. Now this is a pretty tight angle, Ken Judge, for Troy Wilson. He's almost on the boundary line.
Well, he is, but I would suggest you probably try and run around here and open up the angle.
He hasn't gone right around either. The umpire took his eye off it. Wilson took a step to the left. But this will bring the crowd alive. Wilson lining up for his 4th. Shocking. Absolute Troy. Well, probably justice, according to Robert Copeland. He's missed everything. There's Robert. He's relieved. And the Eagles lead by 4 points.
Yes, well, a bit of a disappointing effort there from Willow after me giving him a big rap for his consistency with his kicking. He was just rushed the first time, and it was certainly in the back. He was certainly pushing the back. The kick was there, but the result was no better.
Outstanding swan dive also by Wilson to make sure he got it.
He didn't interrupt the kick.
Gee. More importantly for West Coast fans, they lead by 4 points. Brisbane have won 20 games in a row. Kick in came and good punching back. It's been the big men of West Coast that have been excellent. They've been on top. Gardner, Cox when he's come on. Glenn Jakovic, 13 possessions from centre-half back.
It's certainly the area where Brisbane are struggling at the moment. Losing Brown hasn't helped them.
Charman against Gardner. Gardner again. This is Voss. Through some traffic. Cox got back. Free kick. It's going to Colliker against Notting for holding on.
That was certainly there. Notting was more concerned about Colliker. In the end, grabbed him by the jumper. I mean, you pay the penalty.
Michael Colliker laterally to Josh Wooden. Short and low. Matera over his head. Miranda coming for West Coast. Judd there as well. Falls back for Ashcroft. Handball was clever. To Hart. Power running. Kicks a poor one. Ackermanis has got to beat 2 if it stays in, but it won't. So Power will be disappointed with that disposal. Ackermanis not having a great effect on the game at the moment. Just the 8 disposals.
Yeah, Josh Wooden's done a good job on him so far. He hasn't given him any space at all. He's been at him continually.
Cox. Jones. Ball up. Brisbane have got, well, they did have Jamie Charman in back play there, and he's now jogging into the contest to take the rub.
Jones is now on Simon Black. They've done a pretty good job on Black so far to keep him quiet today.
Yep.
Double team him.
Taylor. Hart sees it over the boundary.
Just 6 possessions for Simon Black, 8 for Jason Ackermanis. So there's a couple of wins there as Jonathan Brown has now come up. As you can see, that right ankle has been retaped. That was the problem. Come into the game with a bit of an injury cloud. Hart, hand pass was smothered down by Peter Matera. Bolton throws it on the boot. Too much on it for Chambers. Power likes this situation. Left foot kick, bending it back. It wants to work its way back, and it was, but it was through already. For a minor score, Luke Power, 5-10. Brisbane. West Coast a 6-7, 43 margin, 3 points.
Just in two minds there, Power. Wanted really to give it off to a player. Saw there was no one there.
There's no one there, so he had to have a shot on goal.
Mark Miranda off the ground. Miranda, just a couple of weeks with a torn quad. Enjoy getting back there. Jakovic, now he's outnumbered. He's got a problem. Brisbane have 3-on-2. Hand pass back. Bolton, little give. He was going to give it, then gets around. A hand pass back under pressure. Right foot snap on goal across the face. Through for a minor score. A quick kick came from Craig McRae, not suited by the right boot. So again, Brisbane peppering away. 5-11-41. And now they're putting the boot on. It's been a long process, this right ankle injury for... I reckon he might have gone down for that jab that you mentioned, Ken, because they're only taping that ankle up right now. I thought that's what they did downstairs, but maybe not. Cousins has worked it to Wooden, who's playing a defensive role but been very offensive in this quarter. It's a poor kick though. Kerr tackled strongly. Now James should bust through. He does. He shimmies his way through. Has a bounce, runs in and kicks the goal. He can play, the boy Chris Judd. And the Eagles are out to an 8-point lead.
Yes, certainly he's a very talented player, Chris Judd. I mean, one of the real finds of the year, obviously. The thing about Chris Judd is when he gets space and time, his leg speed is so good. He just gets away from contests like that. He mops up very well and he finishes very well. Excellent goal, and you know, just gives a bit of a buffer there to West Coast.
Certainly does. We saw Williams kick a goal right on quarter time. Judd has done likewise. Time almost out here in the second quarter. West Coast by 8 points. Cox against Charman. Banfield couldn't get it free. Ball up. No, umpire letting it go. Here's Cousins. Brilliant stuff by Ben Cousins. Gets free. Kicks to the lead of Wilson. He came up, but at ground level, it's Daniel Kerr. The siren sounds as Kerr got it in time. All clear. What about that? Right on quarter time from Williams. Right on quarter time, half time from Kerr. Tim?
I have no doubt that that siren sounded several seconds before the umpire. Now, umpire Stuart Wen and umpire Dean Margetts heard the siren.
Yeah.
The controlling umpire, umpire McKenzie, did not. Now, they've paid the goal. Now, the most experienced umpire out there is umpire McKenzie. Now, the emergency umpire is out there as well in Mark Fussell. Now, this is interesting.
Well, there's no doubt the siren went.
Even the boundary umpire is having his say. Now, this is going to be disallowed, this goal. Umpire Mark McKenzie, this is the umpire here running down to the goal umpire. They are going to cancel this. He was the only umpire on the ground who did not hear. And it can be any umpire.
Well, what you'll see here is the umpire crossing his flags over. Goal disallowed the West Coast. The crowd's not happy, but in the context of the game, I don't think it really matters because West Coast was surging right at the end.
Yeah, absolutely, and all the momentum was with West Coast. You know, and that goal would have been a fantastic bonus for him, but there's no doubt the siren went well before Daniel Kerr kicked that ball. And there was also no doubt that umpire Wen knew very well that he kicked it after.
West Coast 7-7, lead the Lions 5-11, 8 points at half-time at Subiaco. Cousins has got the ball forward at the start of this third quarter. They lead by 8 points as it comes to Daniel Kerr around the body, searching for the dangerous Troy Wilson. Ashcroft there for Brisbane with Miranda, forcing it over for a boundary throw-in. It's an 8-point margin here at Subiaco. Ken?
Matty, I think there might be a problem with Charman for Brisbane as well. He's off the ground at the moment. They're doing some work to his hip, so they might be in trouble in the big man area.
Well, here's Keating, who's going to have to do perhaps a bit more than he was expected to at the start of the game. Trying to knock it off the ground. All he does is tap it to his opponent in Gardner, who off one step gets enormous distance and kicks a magnificent goal. Goal umpire goes down, then gets up, signals a goal to Michael Gardner, just the start that John Worsfold and the Eagles are looking for.
Well, one of the things that I've noticed with Keating, he just looks underdone, and I said that in the second quarter. But he's actually gone to ground then, which is an indication of a player who's having, who's a bit tired and just a bit out of touch and that type of thing, and actually knocked the ball out to his immediate opponent, Michael Gardner, who picks up and snaps on goal for a goal. A very important start to West Coast. But Brown's still off the ground. Charman looks like he's got an injury as well. So they're going to really get stretched here, Brisbane.
He's been a prolific kick getter for the Eagles this year, Michael Gardner. Only second only to Ben Cousins. He's had 11 kicks today. That's his first goal. Here's Cousins to half forward. Embley. Cousins on the way through. Hand pass from Embley. Didn't quite find its mark. It's gone over and out of play. So the Eagles get a much-needed 14-point buffer. Brisbane have won 9 of their last 10 third terms. They are a good third-quarter side. In fact, a 90% fantastic third-quarter team. And this man has a lot to do with it. Voss, sweeping hand pass, 25 metres to a man in the middle in Bolton, who gives to the run of Ackermanis. Back with the flight, nodding up, under pressure. Ball comes to the back. Luke Powell rode under pressure. Got a push in the back. Surely it should be a free kick. It will be. Braun didn't have much to do. He just had to stop Powell from kicking the goal. And umpire Wen was on the spot. And Luke Powell will go back for the Lions and shoot slot through a goal.
Yeah, well, they had good numbers at the fall of the ball then. Those small options are going to be important for them forward, Brisbane. With it not having the tall options there, we spoke about it at half-time. McRae, Power, these players at ground level, Ackermanis, they've got to be the players who are going to kick their goals for them. But the real key to this second half, I think, Matty, is whether the West Coast can continue to control Ackermanis, who they did in the first half, Black, who they did in the first half. If those players can get on a bit of a roll, then the Brisbane juggernaut starts to get into action.
Just see the free kick here. Power ridden into the ground by Braun. He looked up, wanted the free kick, but the tackling by West Coast today has been excellent. They've been right at their midfielders, the Brisbane midfielders, giving them no room.
They've certainly made them earn every possession they've had, Matty.
A goal apiece here in the third quarter. Michael Voss, the leading disposal winner on the ground with 18. 16 for Ben Cousins. The champions leading their respective teams. Here's Cousins again. Caught. Didn't panic. Got it to Matera. Embley. Switching through the middle. Is he doing too much? He's run a long way, but there's Gardner once again. Found himself on his own. Back to Wooden. They look to switch it. Gasper on the lead. Over the back, but Bradshaw back there with him. Leppich has gone forward for Brisbane. So they made the swap. Hart's in trouble. Curl wants holding the ball. Not going to get it. So Brisbane have made the swap. Leppich to full forward. Bradshaw to centre half back.
Well, look, that's an interesting move by Lee Matthews. I suggested he would think that Gasper, Leppich wasn't getting beaten, but he wasn't having a great impact on the game. Try something different. He often goes forward and kicks goals for them. Let's try and make something happen more forward for us.
Ball up, falls though to the Eagles. Off one step, Williams cutting and taking a very good mark. Chris Judd, and he's within range.
Excellent mark by Judd there. Playing on Copeland, is a very good player above his head as well. Just put himself in front and good strength.
So Judd, who kicked a goal just before half-time. 8-7 to 6-11. Right on the 50. Just drifts off to the right. And just the one behind takes the West Coast to a 9-point lead.
And working on Jamie Sharman. Right hip injury as Pike brings the ball back in. So the Eagles lead by 9 points. Brad Scott to Ackermanis. We've got 3 votes in this corresponding game last year in the Brownlow medal. In round 11.
And actually, Tim, was the difference in the game in the last quarter last year. It was pretty even, the scores at three-quarter time here last year, and Ackermanis had a big last quarter that turned the game in Brisbane's favour.
He does run out games very well, does Jason Ackermanis. To kick to centre wing. Ball's tied up. Daniel Kerr again gets up off the bottom of the pack. Had a brilliant season last year. He looks like he's doing a bit more hard work this year, Ken.
Oh, look, he's a hard-at-the-ball player, Tim. I mean, he's a player who's not afraid to put his body on the line, but he's actually got a run-with role today on Simon Black.
Keating up over the top. Simon Black, the man in question. And he's got a problem here, Black. He pulled that in underneath, and he's been penalised accordingly. Crowd 150. Peter Matera just wants to survey what's up ahead. Simon Black, there is the possession, and it was always going to be hard to get rid of with those players lying on top of you, as Judd has taken the mark just backward of left centre wing. Missed a set shot goal just moments ago. Now everyone is forward of the ball here. There's not one player behind the ball, so it's pretty crowded as Judd kicks to half forward. Off hands, Lappin was always in best position for the loose ball. Black and Cousins through traffic, a hand pass back to Judd. He's got a problem, and he saw it out the corner of his eye, hand passed it straight to McRae. Now Brisbane, can they make them pay on that turnover? Bolton's been held up on centre wing.
McRae ran hard for him over the top, sits for him, got to kick quickly. Colica chased, got his kick to Lepic. Lepic, support from Lappin. Lappin was in defence a second ago, has a ping from 40 metres on the left boot, and misses to the near side for a behind. Wonderful chase by Michael Colica, who, Ken, does all the right things. A disciplined footballer. Very
disciplined and very honest. His efforts between his best and worst, there's not much distance there, so he's a consistent player.
8-point lead, West Coast over the lines. Black can't take it. Colica did well. Excellent to Braun. Gardner's under pressure though. Braun realising it, helped out. Kick is low along the ground. Miranda, perhaps caught high, got it to Kerr, has a running player outside him. He's everywhere at the moment, Gardner. It sits for him now. He runs to 60 metres. It's a poor kick, it may suit Embley. No, Chris Scott under pressure. Rush behind. Always gets the crowd going, doesn't it?
It always amazes me that the crowd boos the opposition when they score for them. I mean, that's 1 point. That's 1 point that their team wouldn't have had he not done it anyway.
They'd have been much happier if he tried to actually take him on there and he got caught holding the ball, wouldn't they?
There's Chris Scott. Beautiful sunny day in Perth. But Chris Scott not looking at the scenery because he's kicked the ball out of bounds on the full.
Some worrying signs here for the Lions at the moment. I mean, West Coast are really taking it up to them with their physicality, and the Lions are struggling a bit at the moment.
Another kick for Michael Gardner, top of the square, Embley up, no mark taken, Michael at the back. And Brisbane can rearrange themselves here. Lappin tried to do too much, has time. Ackermanis on his defensive 50. And McRae should be the target for the next kick, and is. Started the game brilliantly to McRae. Now he's got runners out wide. He's got the Scott brothers. And it's Brad who ends up with the footy. He'll stop and look up. McRae has run down. So Brisbane patient in this forward sortie. They trail by 9 points. We've gone 9 minutes, third quarter. Crowd in excess of 33,000. Saturday footy. Subi, it's a poor kick. Colica, it was a poor effort to mark. Flew up and probably didn't have to. Dropped the chest mark. Comes to Bolton. Inside 50. Lepic has been switched into attack. He ran glass underneath the footy. Then he's gone to ground. Good tackle. He put it on the ground. Almost made something of nothing. Nothing. Hand pass back. Providing the run is Voss. Step past Wapanga. That is class with a capital C. Brilliant football. Michael Voss.
Outstanding football, and that's why he's one of the top 2 or 3 players on the ground. But an excellent effort by Lepic here. Desperation by Glass. Lepic gets a boot to ball. Notting's under pressure, feeds it back to Voss, who's ran hard forward. Sidestep, class act, finishes. Goal they needed, Brisbane, because I just feel as though West Coast have got all the answers at the moment.
We're looking up the ground from the view of Michael and Wilson. Brisbane have kicked the last 2 goals. The crowd with the Eagle chant to get their team back into it. The margin back to 3 points. Question being asked of Keating in the ruck. Black at ground level. Going nowhere, and umpire Dean Margetts will bounce once again. You mentioned the third quarter performance by Brisbane. 22 goals to 8 this year.
They actually back themselves as a third quarter side.
Yeah.
They've won 9 of their last 10 third quarters. They really do back themselves. A real test for West Coast here, and we'll just see how good the Lions really are.
Well, here's a chance for the West Coast. Voss went off the ground. Banfield fell in his arms. It's a poor kick, but it may suit the rampaging Wilson. Here he comes. Chris Scott in trouble. Oh, didn't panic, got it to Michael. Ashcroft, bit of experience there. Brad Scott on the wing now. Plays on quickly, wants Voss. Banfield will arrive. Voss couldn't mark it. Sean Hart. Voss going to be caught. Wirapunda wants the boundary. It's kept in. It's still going to get a free kick for holding on. Advantage will be paid. What can West Coast do here? Matera up forward, over the back, came Emily and marked it. He's got Wilson in the goal square. He's all alone. Emily, took him on, got it to Judd. He's dangerous inside 50. He gets around Lappin. He straightens up, and he kicks the goal. Chris Judd. West Coast have the answers to the reigning premiers here at Subiaco at the moment, and Chris Judd kicks his second goal.
Well, they certainly have, Matty. They've really, as I said, taken up to the Lions all day today. After the first 15 minutes of the game, they've certainly answered most of the challenges the Lions have thrown at them. And it'll be interesting just to see. I mean, the Lions have been on a 20-game winning streak. I mean, now the test has really been put to them. They haven't been put in this situation often in the past, in recent times. It's now an opportunity to see what sort of a class act they are.
Michael Voss kicked the last goal for Brisbane, and his opposite number 3, Chris Judd, kicked the last goal for the West Coast, and again the lead out to 9 points. Fantastic game of footy. Gardner, be awesome in the ruck, tackled strongly, took it out of the air, and there is a train of thought that says if you take it out of a ruck contest and are tackled, maybe you should be penalised.
Well, it's one of those anomalies.
It's a rule, isn't it?
Well,
I think they've relaxed that rule. If they hadn't relaxed it, that was holding the ball.
It's one of the anomalies in the holding the ball rule, isn't it? If you take it out of the ruck, how's that different to when you take it anywhere else on the ground?
Only one man there in that picture that's got a hat on, and you need one looking into the sun. Kerr, kick knocked down. Voss, Wooden, been pretty good for his first game for the year, Josh Wooden. Ball's tied up in the middle of the ground. Luke Power. He's going to be interchanged for Ashley McGrath and Josh Wooden. His first 4 games for Subiaco in the WAFL. Now he's at Subiaco Oval in front of 33,289 fans, and his team leads by 9 points. Swatted down by Gardner, spiked forward by Peter Matera to half forward. Miranda one way, Lappin the other. Miranda tries to keep it in. It's good footy by both teams. And there's another interchange as Jonathan Brown now comes onto the ground for Brisbane. Nothing comes off, and Mark Miranda missed a couple of weeks with injury. Be pretty happy with his output so far.
I'm surprised if Jonathan Brown is 100% right that he wasn't on the ground at the start of the third quarter.
Here's Kerr. Clever handball. Matera wants Gasper. Bradshaw's an half-back. Wilson and Michael. Ashcroft. Bradshaw goes short. Black. 9 points the margin. West Coast led by 3 points at quarter time, 8 points at half time. Brisbane kicked the first 3 goals of the game. Since then, the Eagles have been in control. Gardner interferes with Charman. Charman takes the free kick. Wants a player to play on, gets it to McRae. Round the body. Brown couldn't mark it. Wirapunda, play on the call. Crowd won't be happy. Touch, umpire. Stuart Wen signalling.
Where was that touch? Was it touch where they marked it, or was it touched off the boot?
I think he was saying off the boot. Let's have a look at the replay.
It certainly wasn't a mark to Wirapunda.
No.
Came out of Brown's hand, so there was definitely not a mark there, but I'm not sure where the touch was.
Gardner over the top. Again searches for Matera. Good work in close by Wooden. Almost Judd. Charman at ground level with Callum Chambers. So 8.5 minutes remaining in this third quarter. West Coast holding.
What they've been able to do since about halfway through that first quarter, they've been able to lock the ball in the contest more, West Coast, not allowed the Lions free-running players, Yakamanis and these players, like to get on the end of the ball for it to come out of those contests. They've locked it in, held it in, and made that run of the Bears negate the run of the Bears, of the Lions.
Pike, inside 50. Well, Punter said, well, I'm not going to try and mark it, I'll punch it instead, and then we don't have to worry about the arguments. The ball's gone over the line and out of play.
It's that passion for the Bears that I had, Matty.
It's still there.
Comes through me, mate.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by Bears. I feel like I'm at the zoo. There's John Worsfold surrounded by his assistant coaches. Pretty relaxed there, John Worsfold. Rob Wiley's having a relaxing day at the footy too. Arms behind the head, the assistant coach. The ball's gone over the line and out of play.
You're able to do that when you're in the coach's box and things are going all right, Tim.
Ben Cousins. Robert Copeland's got the job on Cousins now. Resting in the forward pocket alongside Troy Wilson. At the city end of the ground. Now Jakovic wants front spot, just demands it. It was taken high. Black was away. And Jakovic will get the free kick. The free kick count is 10-8. The Eagles' favourite. I don't think the umpires have been all that bad today. The Eagles fans have certainly voiced their opinion on numerous occasions. But it's been a tough old game. Tough in the trenches, that's for sure. This man, Gardner, has been pretty dominant.
He's almost been the best big man on the ground today.
It should be kick number 13. In fact, it's the most kicks by an Eagles player. That is amazing for a ruckman. He's kicked to Gaspar, who's marked at half forward left. And the Eagles just trying to find out if they can get another goal. Wilson on the lead, kick inside 50. Brisbane have numbers around the footy. Pike will try and step around Mirinda. Only as far as Kerr on the boundary line, wants some assistance. Steps inside, right foot kick on goal. Daniel Kerr has kicked the beauty. Brilliant.
Excellent vision by Kerr then, actually. More often than not, he likes to give the ball away in those situations. Waited up, realised there wasn't any options on for West Coast. Shot on goal was fantastic. Important goal in the context of the game. And just again, West Coast have answered the Lions.
Well, a great goal by Daniel Kerr. And if you want to know more about the real issues in AFL football, catch the experts on the couch every Monday night at 8:30 on Fox Footy Channel. Fantastic goal by Kerr. 3 goals in this quarter to the Eagles, just the 2 to the Lions. Playing with great passion on their home deck. Judd trying to get him going again, off the ground. Here's Miranda. He's caught. And we'll go boundary side to Lockie Reed.
Martin Pike dragged for that poor handball that resulted in Kerr's goal, and the Eagles still working on Michael Braun. He was struggling with a quad injury.
So I think they'd be a bit hard if they took Martin Pike off of that. I mean, he was under all sorts of pressure. He's tried to go to the boundary, just didn't quite make it.
Yeah, we're coming from everywhere there, the Eagles. Williams, he's caught by Black. Kerr, got to beat 2. Can't. Umpire letting it go for a while.
Isn't Daniel Kerr betting everything in this quarter of football? I'd like to count how many times he's got up off the grass with the footy.
Well, he's probably shaded Simon Black when he's been on in today. Black's only had 8 possessions for the game. Very quiet day for him, and Daniel Kerr's been one of his opponents.
Over the top came Colliker. They're winning the clearances quite easily, West Coast. Williams up forward, coming out Johnson. Looking into the sun here on a Saturday afternoon. Takes the mark. Spent a bit of time on the bench. Not a lot of possessions for Chris Johnson. This will be his 3rd. Just under 6 minutes remaining. Oh, gee, it's a confident kick from Johnson. And a lucky free kick to Michael. Advantage to Lappin. Towards Lepic. Over the back it comes towards Brown. He gets around, he turns, he straightens up. And kicks it poorly. And away goes David Wirapunda.
He has Jakovic, Brown's opponent. Now, Brown is standing 50 metres behind him with his hands on his hips. Not admiring that last kick. Now, the Eagles have numbers here, but have they blown their chance to set something up? Chris Scott, hand pass had too much on it for McGrath eventually. Now, there's a free kick behind play. It's against the Eagles for a push, and it's going to go to Chris Scott after he disposed of the footy.
Yeah, I think he got pushed in the back as he handed the ball off on the up.
As Brad Scott comes off, his brother Chris will try and kick it long into the danger zone. Something wrong with that footy. I'm not too sure, but it certainly looks wobbly. Chambers got a very good shepherd from Wapunda, who got rid of his opponent. Now under pressure. swatted back. Jakovic off a step. Now Colica has to stand and wait. That should be a free kick if the umpire has been consistent, or should have been against Bolton. Doesn't matter in the end because the Eagles can run it out of defence. Look away, hand pass from Matera to Chambers to Wooden, and the Eagles should set it up. Wilson's in short, he goes to the longer lead. Gardner gets rid of his man. The ball comes to the ground. Here's Embley, he runs past it. Big Gardner snaps around the corner to Miranda. He should be in the circus, he snaps on goal. It dribbled up his right leg, bounced off his nose. He didn't finish it off, his miss. Probably had more time than he realised, minor score.
West Coast have just been able to stretch the lines at the moment there. Gardner went forward, then he had Bradshaw as his immediate opponent, so he's got a distinct height advantage on him there. And they're really now starting to take some control in the game, but also take some control in some matchups.
They lead by 15 points, 16 points I should say. Johnson, short to Lappin. Working hard for his team, but he's got no one to kick to. He found Scott, Chris Scott. Lions under pressure. Running hard now, Chris Johnson. Has a bounce, poor handball. Decision process there. Away go the Eagles. Here's Cousins. Copeland's got him. To Matera. Just loses it, but has some poise. Spots Williams. He's got some space to run into. He's going to back himself here. He bounces. He runs to 50. He kicks the goal. Oh, well done by Williams. And the ability of the West Coast Eagles at the moment, Ken, to make Brisbane pay for some bad decisions and some poor turnovers.
Well, it's a complete contrast to that early in the first quarter where Brisbane were able to do the same thing. What happened there, I would suggest that Johnson might be under some pressure as to whether he'll stay on the ground, because it wasn't really smart bit of play by him. Tried to run up, hand it off to a player who was under pressure, caused the turnover, and the West Coast just had free players everywhere. They were queuing up to kick that goal.
The chant goes around Subiaco Oval as Andrew Williams slots his second, his 9th goal for the year, and the biggest lead in the game for West Coast, 22 points. Keating. Got to answer here, the Lions. Colica through traffic to Kerr. They're forcing it forward by inches. But Brisbane repel this forward sortie. Here's Notting. Little shimmy to the right. Kick not good. Knocked down by Cox. Jones under pressure. Brisbane, they work it out. Bolton to Power, to Voss, to Ackermanis from 50. Kicks on goal and has put it through. Boy, they needed that.
They just haven't been able to be as clean away from the contact. That time they were, but they were under pressure, all the players that received the ball. Then West Coast have been able to tighten it up, play the game at closer quarters. So therefore Brisbane haven't been able to get the opportunities, easy opportunities like perhaps that was in the end. But to West Coast credit, they're persevering still. They're at Brisbane all the time, and they're not allowing any soft possessions.
A confident handball by Voss to Ackermanis, and he is, I guess, one of the players that can turn a game. It's his first goal for the afternoon.
Well, they certainly need to lift from him.
Yep. Back to 16 points. Cox. Ball to ground. Just off the ground it comes to Pike. Traps it well. And then just gives it up. Wirapunda. Right on his hammer, Power. He's too good. He never panicked and then found the body. Taylor, centre wing for the Eagles. Kicks in towards Braun, back on the ground. They're running now. Chambers almost runs into the umpire. Kicks low. Suits Michael for Brisbane. Now the turnover. He's got players to use. One is Johnson. He gets a good shepherd from Copeland and puts him right into space. He can go long. It's a strange looking kick. It suits Wirapunda. Was that a tackle when he didn't have it? Play on the call. No, he has paid it. Ball will come back. It'll be a free kick to David Wirapunda.
Not sure that was a missed kick from Chris Johnson, but I couldn't see the logic in the positioning where he was trying to kick that ball. I mean, he had all these players running back into space behind them. He needed to go longer and deeper into space.
David Wirapunda, his 12th possession. Taylor spent a lot of time on the bench. Kicks to centre wing. Now Colica did well. Got rid of his man. Bolton has taken the mark. A little give to Cousins, then he opens up the way with a good shepherd. Here is Wilson out in front, it went over his head. Ball to the back, players go to ground, not Bradshaw. Started the game at full forward, now working in defence. Left foot kick, Cox back, good mark. That's not a good kick by Cox. Braun had to stand underneath it and wait. And Bradshaw, they finally work it out here, Brisbane. And then Power, they didn't do too well either. Brisbane had 2-on-1 situation. So not a great 30 seconds of football there between these two teams after what's been a wonderful game of footy between the Lions and the Eagles. They've got 26 minutes and it is the Eagles by 16 points.
Not much respite there, Tim, and that's why, you know, there's a few errors creeping into the game. Both sides have been hard at it, you know, working hard.
Power, left foot, kick knocked down. Collick up, kick around the corner, inside 50, the danger zone. Now Wilson's left back on the goal square. Michael left his man, backed himself and did well. Works it out to Scott. His kick's out wide, Lappin. A quiet old day. Left foot kick down the line.
Searching for a teammate, but it's Chambers for the Eagles, who bangs it back forward. And getting on the end of that is Cox. Wilson, fast, strong lead. There it is. Michael's had the better of this quarter on Wilson, but if you keep presenting yourself, if you keep leading hard into space, it'll come.
Well, when he gets space in front of him like that, he's too quick. There's not too many fullbacks in the competition who can actually stay with him. And Troy Wilson then just got the break on Mel Michael and gives himself an opportunity to kick a goal here.
West Coast are 2-2 this season. Both times they've led at half-time, they've won. They did lead this game by 8 points at half-time. Daniel Kerr has been excellent. He's come off for a spell. Banfield goes on. Wilson's looking for his fourth, but more importantly for the Eagles, it would stretch the margin to 22 points. From 55. Huge kick. Goal. For Wilson. They've done everything right this quarter, Ken.
Well, they certainly have. They just keep being able to answer the challenges that Lions have thrown at them. The Lions aren't making any inroads on the scoreboard. And this is a huge psychological advantage to West Coast here. The Lions have been a great third-quarter side this year. They're being outscored here. And I would think that the West Coast, if they can finish this quarter in the shape they are now in the last couple of minutes, they go in at three-quarter time in a pretty confident frame of mind. Michael
Gardner tucked up in the dugout as Troy Wilson stays on the ground after kicking his fourth goal and 19th for the season. Swatted forward by Brisbane, but Wapunda standing firm at half-back. Now the Eagles have 3-on-1 here. The odd man out is Ackermanis. Now they waving Casey Green on. Chip kick on the lead. Wilson marks again. Now this will test him. He'll have to kick from 55 plus. And now he has to have the shot.
His last kick went through. I mean, he made the distance quite easily from there.
Yeah.
If he kicks this goal, they've kicked a goal with 1 second left. They kicked the goal after the sign, which was paid a goal and then not paid a goal.
But they kicked one with a couple of seconds before that as well.
Exactly right. And now, Troy Wilson has a chance to kick a goal after the sign. A goal here, and the lead will be out to 28 points. A hushed silence over Subiaco Oval. He's kicked 4. He's missed. Just. Eagles lead by 23 points. Three-quarter time, 12-11-83. Brisbane 8-12-60.
Well, it would appear at the start of that third quarter, Ken, that Brisbane were going to surge back into the game, but they've been able to close their players down, haven't they, West Coast?
Been able to do it very effectively.
Been able to close them down. It's three-quarter time. Gardner has been very, very good for the Eagles. They lead by 23 points. The final quarter from Saturday afternoon football at Subiaco. And it falls towards Matera. Black gone forward, went to ground, tried to thread the handball through to Scott, has to kick quickly, off 2 steps. Lepich went to ground as well, 3-on-1, and Wirapunda perhaps could have marked that. Communication breakdown there probably, because he was on his own.
Well, that's right, and I think he was a bit surprised because one of the Brisbane players fell over that could have got to that contest and obviously didn't get there, so David Wirapunda thought he was under more pressure than that. They need Lepich to lift forward for them, the Lions, if they're going to have any impact in this game.
Here's where West Coast have been very good. Jakovic, Warapunda somehow got a kick to that. Matera beats everybody. Oh, good hands from Gasper. Kept it in play. Miranda, Matera still running. Gone. Suits Brisbane. Ackermanis looked up, saw Judd, gave it away. And West Coast will probably see this over the boundary line. They do. And that is a good result for them there. They can reset and get into a ruck contest.
The most important factor for West Coast now is that they just continue to run, continue to work, don't go back into your shell, actually try and take it up to them. They have all day, and that's why they're in front in the game.
The winning streak is under threat for the Lions. And if you would have thought that it was going to be the West Coast Eagles to end it, would have got some strange looks back. 33,310 people, Saturday footy alive and well here in the West. First time, it's been a success, and it's been a very good contest. Lappin, kick travelled 2.5 metres. Tunnel ball stuff. Brisbane have to get it going forward. They don't on this occasion because numbers went out for the Eagles. Look away hand pass from Wooden to Kerr. Then he shows it to Johnson, sold him the dummy, and he paid full price. Kicks towards the dangerous hot spot out in front of goal. Well done, Michael, for Brisbane. The Lions, power. McRae, left foot to half forward. Eagles have numbers back. Peter Matera under pressure. Kicks down the line. Good mark taken by Williams for the Eagles. Brisbane, there's just nothing happening up forward.
Williams chips in short. Kerr, too far out to score. Wilson will be his target. Kerr decides to go on his own. Runs to 50 and kicks a goal. How good is Daniel Kerr? Fantastic finish. Decided that if he had a set shot, he's perhaps a bit too far out. Decides to play on, get himself to his range and kick his second goal. Fantastic stuff.
Well, Daniel Kerr's form in the last 2 weeks is back to the form of last year. His first 3 weeks, first 3 games of the year, he probably a bit of a carryover from last year. Wasn't quite at the impact player he was from last year, but the last 2 weeks he's certainly been a very good player for West Coast. He's been so again today.
Chris Judd is getting up off the ground. Winded, Robert Copeland. And he just trading pleasantries. So the Lions, well, the task is right in front of them now. Gardner swats it forward. Is this another centre break for West Coast? Williams strongly tackled, kick smothered down. Wooden's been very good. Back to Gardner, close to best on ground. Kicks inside 50, out hard, Wilson. Kerr kept his man away from the ball. Off a step, Wilson unselfishly will pass and Chambers will mark. Crowd 150, not doing. And Callum Chambers will go back and have a shot from 35 metres out. Again, unselfish play from Troy Wilson.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's been a fantastic player again for West Coast today, Troy Wilson. Not just by the fact that he's winning the ball in marking contests like that, but actually that he's having a physical presence. But also when he's been a bit far out today, he's actually been prepared to hand the ball off to other players in better position.
Chambers from 40 splits the middle. Eagles have got 14. West Coast look like they're playing premiership football. The Lions are really struggling, Ken Judge.
Well, they certainly are, and they just can't get anything happening in their midfield at the moment, the Lions. And West Coast have looked full of run, and they've certainly dominated, as we've said numerous times today, in the big man area with Gardner in the centre square, and the Lions just got no answer to it.
Chambers' first goal for the afternoon, but the physical presence of Wilson really having an effect. He was coming out hard and everybody knew it. Again in the centre, it's the West Coast. Keating tries to knock it off the ground. Lappin, he's caught.
That's what they've been able to do the further the game's gone today, Matty. They've been able to lock it in those situations. Early in the game when Brisbane looked like they were in control, they were able to feed the ball out of those contested situations. West Coast shut them down in that area, and they've shut down their game.
Certainly have. Go again. Keating affected the smother. Scott. It's Brad. Running hard, but no one to kick to up forward. Simon Black. Not a good day for him. Glass. Free kick, it goes back to Glass. Sean Hart was holding on after he'd gone past. So he'll take the free kick. They've switched laterally for him. He takes a look and decides against. And now does. To Green. In turn to Djakovic. They've opened it up. He's away. He's got 30 metres on his own. Lappin approaches. Djakovic goes long. Chris Scott comes for the Lions. Falls now to Brown. Brown. And that's indicative of the way the Lions are playing at the minute. They're just throwing it on the boot. Hart. Black. Caught. Jones right with him. Play on. Good decision. Banfield. Brown going back. Wilson comes again. Cleans up as many as he can coming through. Judd there for the Eagles, and they hold it up. They've got a ball up inside their forward 50, and they get warm applause from the Subiaco crowd on the outer side.
Have a look at him, would you? He is a human bowling ball. Bang! If he hits him, and poor old Jonathan Brown and Mel Michael.
It's been a good contest, hasn't it, the Wilson-Michael?
It has. Brisbane run the ball out of defence. Brad Scott kicked and hopes for the Lions. Djakovic one way, Bradshaw the other. Oh, he fended him off there, Djakovic. Nothing doing. The Eagles are just full of run. The kick to Cousins. To Wooden. He heard a voice, and it was that of Colica. Runs through the middle of Subi, and then spirals it down. A lucky kick. Will it land for Kerr? Can he stay on his feet? Was he tackled without it? No, according to the umpire, he had possession. Kerr's not happy, nor are 33,000 Eagles fans. The ball's gone over the line.
Smart play by Michael Colica there. Came through the middle of the ground. Knew he was outside his distance with a drop punt, so he went to a torpedo into space. Nearly came off.
Ball's come to Chambers. Chambers has, well, he had more time. Toe poked through a behind. It's just a constant hum around Subiaco Oval at the moment. A lead by 6 goals, the Eagles. 96 plays 60. Bit of an understatement, but if the Lions are going to win, they better make their move and make it fast, Matt.
Leffridge has come off for the Lions. Pike back on as the Ashcroft clears to the outer side. But Gardner's there once again. It's been terrific all day. Switches towards Matera. Unfortunately, the kick wasn't accurate. It goes to Notting. Hart. Banfield closes. Hart towards Brown. Djakovic does enough. Wirapunda. Brilliant skills of David Wirapunda. To Chambers. Good switch of play. Judd runs for him. It's got to be tight. Judd tracks it well to Gardner. He's wrapped up by Brad Scott, but presence of mind was good to Judd. He could have gone all the way, but he goes to Wilson. Great play by the West Coast Eagles. Unselfish play from Judd. Here's Wilson. He's being unselfish as well. He spots and finds Williams.
We're going to have to look back behind the play, Matty, to the wing, and there's 2 or 3 Brisbane Lions players who are on their haunches and just couldn't go with the West Coast Eagles players when they ran their netball forward.
Great take by Troy Wilson out in front of Craig Bolt, and then lays it off to Andrew Williams. Andrew Williams has 2 goals from 30 metres. They lead by 36 points. This to get it to 42. And disappointment for the fans here at Subiaco. Leppich and Voss and Charman. And Johnson. So a little bit of the Brisbane talent just sitting back. The bench is looking pretty good, but the scoreboard isn't.
Well, I'd suggest that Lee Matthews probably thinks that this game's out of their range, and so he'd be looking at well, resting those players up or keeping them in some form of shape for next week.
Good mark taken by Gasper in the front of that pack. Hand passes back. Cousins. Adept on both sides. Left foot kickstand underneath that. Wilson, he does. Lee Matthews has given Craig Bolton a task, handing him up on Troy Wilson in this last quarter, but Wilson has stood under and taken a very good mark. In fact, that's his 8th mark. He's been very good.
He's not physically strong enough, Craig Bolton, to play on him. Again, that to me is an indication that Lee Matthews is thinking, well, you know, this game's probably gone. The record they were chasing is gone. This game's gone, and you know, we've probably had a few players that have struggled today. So a few of them having some time on the bench, and some of them are the better known players and the match winners for the Lions.
Going for his third 5-goal performance for the season. A 6, a 5, a 4, a 0, and you can pencil in at least 5.
Fantastic performance by Wilson. 5 goals. And for a comprehensive wrap of his 5 goals and all the round, check out the winners on Sunday nights at 7:30 on Fox Footy Channel.
Very impressive performance again by Troy Wilson. Just an indication of last week with no goals. West Coast struggled, but today he's back in form again. Had that physical presence that we've come to expect from him, and he's really having an impact on the game. 5 goals and giving a number away.
Crowd alive here at Subiaco. Wilson has 5. He's been involved in 2 or 3 more. His physical presence not to be underestimated as well. Been a great performance from him. It's been a great performance by the West Coast Eagles. 43 points the lead, still with over 12 minutes remaining. Lappin hasn't stopped trying. Ashcroft now finds himself in the midfield rotation. Black been banished to the half-forward flank. Right with him, Jones.
Had a dirty day, Simon Black, today.
This will be just his 4th kick.
Now Michael's gone forward. He likes to go forward. And he has got a mark on the long lead.
Yeah, Simon Black's probably had a day, Matty, he'd like to forget, coming back in front of the home crowd, and he's just been well held, and I think we'll be taking a bit of credit away from the West Coast Eagles players. Kerr and Jones and these players have rotated on him and done a very good job on him. He's
averaged 27 possessions. He's only found himself with 10 today, so that gives you a good idea of how down his game is. But we're with now Michael from inside 50. Coming back. Has he got enough on it, though? He has. That's Miles Michael's first goal for the season.
And a belated one, Matty, for the Lions. I mean, they needed that. Now it's a little bit about putting some respectability back into the score. I mean, I don't think they can win the game. I think they're running out of time. They're not playing well enough to do that. But if they could finish off with 2 or 3 goals, they could probably walk off thinking, well, at least we made a contest of it. We didn't throw the towel in.
Michael Voss back on the ground for the closing 15 or so minutes of this game of football. Brisbane Lions won't go down without a fight. Too many class players out there to be completely wiped off the ground. There's one of them, Nigel Lappin. ...21 disposals for the game for Nigel Lappin. Gardner and Keating tap down to Power for the Lions. Kicks towards half forward. Simon Black goes to ground. Jones running hard at the footy. Good tackle on him by Bradshaw. They dive on top of the footy. Will have a ball up about 45 out. The city end of the ground. Saturday football, Ken Judge. 33,313 people here. It's a good crowd.
Good crowd, and a very vocal one today, Tim. I agree with you from the start. They've been actually involved in the game all day.
Great contest. The Eagles have just started to stamp their authority on it now. Peter Materas kicked the ball out on the full.
I can't remember a worse kick from a great player like that. He's kicked that almost backwards, 50 metres out of the full.
Well, I actually think he went to kick a drop punt. He actually dropped it crookedly, and it's come out as a torpedo punt.
A little hole starting to appear in the West Coast Eagles defence, and the Lions are starting to find them. And Luke Power already kicked a couple of goals. Both his goals have come from basically the goal square. So this is the longest kick he's had for goal today. He's 20 metres out. We're behind the kick. He's missed. He's gone narrow. 15 minutes gone. The Eagles bench looks on. Some fresh players there. Richard Taylor hasn't had a lot of field time, and it's a 6-goal lead to the Eagles.
Could have done with that goal there from Luke Power, but as has been their game today, just didn't come off for them.
Just jabbed at it. They've worked it out. Notting come over the top. Is a good athlete. That is an ambitious handball. Wooden. Banfield with some confidence. Looking for Kerr. Got rid of McGrath. Here's Brown.
Banfield's game's been better. He's a better player in the midfield, isn't he? He's been stuck in the back pocket and a half-back flank in the previous month.
Well, he's gone back to the back line now, but he started the game in the midfield and he's looked far more comfortable in that role.
And the boundary throw-in will be repeated.
I mean, he's a very experienced player, Tim. I mean, he's a player who you know, the Eagles need to be up and playing well on a regular basis. He's probably been a bit quiet by his standards earlier in the year, but he's been better today.
Charman in front, knocks it forward, and there'll be a free kick to Charman for over the shoulder against Gardner. Not a good kick. Out on the floor.
Not sure he's
I think
going
that's
there,
indicative. I think that's indicative, though. Brisbane look a bit tight at the moment. Normally you'd have a midfielder running around the back of him or getting off, peeling off for a handball. To let a ruckman go back for a long kick means they're not getting to where they should be. Cousins has been everywhere. Ashcroft turned around and just see Gasper come out, and Gasper couldn't believe he had no contest to mark it. So we'll have a ball up with just under 9 minutes remaining. The margin is 36 points, and West Coast have won every quarter. They would love to finish off winning all 4 quarters against the reigning premiers.
Well, they certainly deserve to, because they've been the better side since 15 minutes into the first quarter.
Last Eagles win over the Lions, round 2, 1999. 3 straight to the Lions over the Eagles. Miranda, strong tackle on him by Ashcroft. Now the ball is still in, it was on the boundary line. Off one step, Kerr to half-forward. Good mark, Gasper. Fought for front spot and found it in front of Brown. Wilson will lead. Gasper will ignore. He'll go longer, and Williams is in the best position. Didn't take the mark. There is Wilson. Look out. Front end loader coming through. Ball spill out. McGrath takes it for the Lions. Has a bounce. Has a second. Good chase by Banfield. McGrath kicks it close to the 50. Back with the flight. No mark taken. Over the line and out of play.
Big Willow put the ball under the arm then and off the... He looked like a front row forward the way he went through there.
There he is.
Here he goes.
There it is. Just forgot to dish off, that was all.
Tell you what, Sean Hart didn't take a backward step, still laid a very strong tackle on him. Swatted down. Now the Lions need a goal in tight. This man might be able to provide it. Stands up in the tackle, Voss. Was he tackled without it? Black. Ackermanis wanted the footy. Kerr's underneath the pack.
It's been very typical of how Black's game has been. They have not given him 1 ounce of room, and again going to ground trying to win possession.
Bit going on here. Voss didn't like some treatment that Ackermanis received off the ball, and he singled out Collicker in that situation. It takes a lot to upset. Oh, Michael Voss! Picture tells the story. The umpire saw it. And Judd will get the free kick.
Don't we often see Michael Voss react in that type of way?
Wasn't happy with Michael Collicker leading up to that. Cox has it at half-back right. The Eagles. A bit of emotion still in this game, even though the result might be beyond it. Now Chambers. And runs out games very well. Spots a man. Gardner again close to the best on the ground. A little juggling effort. Bounced off his shoulder. He still took the mark. Michael Gardner kicks long from 55. Wilson back with the flight. Stands underneath it. Ball comes to the front. Copeland. Matera. Snap on goal. Peter Matera. The cherry on top of the cake. Michael Voss goes off the ground, and another champ of the game snaps a great goal.
Well, yeah, they're just under all sorts of pressure there, the Lions' defence. And Peter Matera, with other numbers around him, got to the fall of the ball. Excellent snapshot. He hasn't kicked one of those goals for a long time, and he was pretty happy with it too.
What a fantastic goal by Peter Matera. Only his 2nd goal for the season. And celebrated in fine style. Back out to 42 points. Voss is off. The crowd is still booing. But a great performance as he wanders up and down the boundary line to the great applause of this Subiaco crowd. Back with the action. Lappin. Power. Ackermanis. Left foot just outside 50. That's his range. It's a goal. Second goal to Ackermanis. Been a quiet day for him, though.
Hasn't had space like that all day. I mean, the 2 goals he's kicked have been the 2 times he's actually had any space, time or space at all.
Michael Voss off the ground, and this is an incident that certainly got the ire of the West Coast Eagles. Well, the picture tells the story. A bit of fresh air there, I reckon, between Chris Judd and Michael Voss. Jamie Sharman just standing right in the wrong spot. Anyway, the picture tells the story, and Voss is off the ground. Lappin. Chris Scott. Back to Lappin. Power, he'll appreciate the run. Luke Power. Like a bounce, a run on 50, and he will hook it. So the Lions still peppering away. Pride in these Lions. They certainly won't go down without a fight. 109 to 74.
Well, that was a goal that Luke Power you'd expect to kick when he usually gets balanced and set up like that. He usually finishes those off. So again, as I said, he missed one earlier in the quarter. Probably a reflection of how the Lions have gone today.
Bit rusty, Power. First came back after injuring his knee against Sydney in round 1. He's missed a couple of goals. Chambers. Good mark. Got Gasper on a long lead. Notting came late. Play on. McGrath, boundary.
Well, same token, Luke Power still has had 17 disposals, 4 marks, kicked a couple of goals. He'd be happy with his output.
He's had 5 shots at goal. He's only kicked 2, but he's had kicked 2 goals, 3. So he's been about the place.
This is Sharman and Cox. Banfield. Ackermanis went without it. Hart will give to Ashcroft. Cousins. Falls to Cox, fortuitously. He gets up and under it a bit. Notting. Down at ground level, Judd. He's away. Great acceleration. The kick out in front of Wilson. With him, Bolton. Bolton this time brings it to ground, but Wilson's got a fair bit of strength to get past. Bolton taps it out in front. Wilson coming. Boundary throw in.
It's certainly an intimidating sight. Well, maybe not a sight because when you don't see him coming, that's even more of a worry. At least when you see him coming, you can get out of the way.
Still, Bolton didn't miss the footy. He had eyes only for the ball. Here's Cousins. Tight situation. A little pirouette from Ben Cousins. Goal!
Great goal by Fox Footy's own Ben Cousins. And if you want to know more about the real issues in AFL football, catch the experts on the couch every Monday night at 8:30 on the Fox Footy channel. And a great finish by Ben Cousins.
Well, he was certainly outstanding in the first half, Ben Cousins, and a good contributor again in the third. He's gone forward now there and kicks a goal, which just rounds out his game.
First goal for Ben Cousins, but he's had 24 disposals. Just leading Michael Gardner with 23. And for Brisbane, Michael Voss has had 23, and Nigel Lappin, who has worked hard with 24. But a great performance by the Eagles. They're back in the middle. Wooden going nowhere is wrapped up by Chris Scott and Nigel Lappin. 5 goals to Wilson. 2 to Judd, Williams and Kerr. Brisbane struggling to get multiple goal kickers. Power has a couple, Ackermanis has a couple, and Daniel Bradshaw has 2. Lappin, arms free. Here go the Eagles once again. They're running hard, they're running forward. Kerr, can he get another one? Oh, can he get another one? He gets to 50. It's a poor kick, but who knows where it's going to go? Ben Cousins marks. Daniel Kerr, he wanted his 3rd goal. In the end, it's going to be Ben Cousins for 2 in a minute.
I think that's an indication of the Lions' game from early in the game. The West Coast just ran away from them. The ball came out of that centre square, which they've continually won all day, and there was no chase at all from the Brisbane Lions players.
Second goal to Cousins. They're too strong, they're too fast, they're too fit. Just they ran forward off that contest. And the ability all day at the stoppages to be first in at it, or if Brisbane get it, Ken, to tackle them hard to force an error.
Oh, absolutely. And again, terrific work from Daniel Kerr, who was just, you know, fantastic. He is. The longer the game's gone, the better he's got.
The day is done for Ben Cousins. 25 disposals, 16 kicks, 9 handballs, and a couple of last quarter goals. And the chant again goes around Subiaco Oval. Saturday footy alive and well. And the Lions' winning run has come to an end on the West Coast. 18-13, 121 to 10-14, 74. And there is the chant. There was some doubt whether this crowd would come to Subiaco Oval, but they've come in numbers, 33,313 to be exact. And obviously, it's topped off with a very fine performance. Gardner taken by Ackermanis, the Brownlow medalist for the Lions, kicks out, and again, Mel Michael on the lead. A bit of a name for himself in the forward line for Collingwood. And now he's having a shot on goal from 35 metres out. Already kicked a goal in this quarter.
Well, we haven't been able to see, as I've said on only the other couple of occasions when he's got away, Ackermanis get clear like that and be able to use the time and space to set up forward thrust for the Lions.
And Mel Michael
Kicked it like a backman.
He did. He missed. 10-15, 75. And there's that ice pack on the right hip of Jamie Sharman. The Eagles are 18-13, 121. The margin is 46 points.
If you want to go forward, Matty, and you like going forward sometimes, you've got to convert those opportunities. The coach is more encouraged to do it the next time if you do.
Well, the big torpedo kick from behind the punch came. Kerr, front and square, and running. Wonderful young player. Gets some distance on the kick towards Wilson, and it's a good learning experience for Bolton. He got in front that time and took a good mark. Come back into the side and finds himself on big Troy Wilson. Just under 2 minutes remaining. Switch is tight. Power on the up towards Ackermanis. He slaps it forward, only as far as Green. Back to Wooden. Spotted Judd, just missed him. Might have been away if he'd got him. Hart, he's wrapped up. Tackling by the Eagles today has been outstanding. Judd takes the pressure off and goes to Kerr. Possession number 20 now for Daniel Kerr. Just lays it off to Judd. Play on, not 15. Copeland. He gets around him. He's going to be caught this time. He got it off towards Embley. Embley, well, they made a mess of that West Coast. Brisbane, though, forced to kick it long with Scott. And it's only as far back as Josh Wooden.
Erase the tape, says Andrew Embley, Chris Judd and Daniel Kerr. We don't want to see that again.
Well, Cox wants to see it because he wants to kick a goal.
No. It's getting worse.
It's messy. And now Brisbane have got a free kick for a throw.
Well, when Cox had a shot at goal there. He had all the momentum. He should have gone at goal. He's handballed to a bloke who had a fella right on him.
He just wanted to play his part in the comical 30 seconds of football. It's been a polished display by the Eagles, but didn't exactly thrill the crowd with that little movement. Here's Ackermanis to Notting. Dying stages of the game. The Lions will trek back to their home state and try and rebound. I don't know what it's like to lose. In fact, Robert Copeland hasn't lost a game since joining the Lions. He'll taste defeat for the first time. Lappin to Hart. Left foot kick. Michael and Glass. Glass did well. Punched the ball over the line and out of play. We've tipped over 30 minutes. Dying stages of the game. 46 points is the margin.
Warm applause for Michael Gardner, and why wouldn't it be? He's been outstanding. Here's Jakovic. Wants the boundary and finds it.
Well, it's been a good win by West Coast. They've been very, very good today and very impressive, and they would gain a lot out of this game today, and I would think that they would consider themselves a real finals chance now.
Well, they'll go 3-2. And there it is. John Worsfold has ended Lee Matthews' 20-game winning streak, but more importantly for the Eagles, they've won their 3rd game out of 3 here at Subiaco, and they've defeated the reigning premiers by 46 points in an excellent performance. They really have dominated since the first 15 minutes of the game when Brisbane kicked the first 3 goals. The big men were on top, and the little men at ground level were putting all the pressure on the Brisbane midfield.
10 goal kickers, 2 for the West Coast Eagles, 5 to Troy Wilson, couple to Andrew Williams, Ben Cousins chimed in, Kerr and Judd. Let's go downstairs now to Lockie Reed, who has the bulldozer, Troy Wilson.
Troy, you'll be enjoying this. The Eagles song, well played today. A lot of big confidence builder.
Oh, most certainly. Do it at a big crowd like this. It's a pretty good feeling, and John had a big talk to us at the start, you know, how the old diggers had it, you know, all their mates went in the battle, so they had to jump over, and we ought to be pretty much the same and go in the battle together as well.
Can you believe you've just knocked off the reigning premiers?
Oh, I don't think it's going to sink in for a couple of days, but yeah, it's hard to believe 20 in a row for them.
You are the crowd favourite here. You're enjoying it. You certainly did play well today.
Yeah, I'm the crowd favourite whenever my midfielders kick it to me, but they keep kicking over my head. I'm not too popular.
Mate, thanks very much. Go and enjoy the festivities.
No worries, thank you.
Troy Wilson with 5 goals, 3 for the afternoon. Part of a very successful West Coast Eagles team. The final score here at Subiaco, 18-13-121. As we take a look at some of Wilson's work, they have defeated the Lions 10-15-75. Wilson, excellent all day, whether he's kicking goals or he's physically making his presence felt. 46-point winners, the West Coast Eagles.